Just making sure that the little things are taken care of, like getting our cleats in the dirt and just playing.
What we have to do is make sure that we got our cleats in the ground before the ball is snapped. I think that's the key to the game, and make sure that
just get our cleats in the ground, execute calls, the urgency of communicating and getting lined up.
Yeah, you got to get your cleats in the ground and you got to go play.
Like 99% of the people in this world want to be great. Would you agree with that? Yeah, they're called wannabes. 1% work to be great. Drop the mic on that.
Doesn't have to be perfect, ain't gonna be perfect. We go compete for 60 freaking minutes. All right, enjoy the opportunity, enjoy the environment, and then go play our butts off, play for one another, and have a hell of a lot of fun. Everybody got me? Yes, all right.
Team makes 2 6 win. Play 4 makes breaks, 1 must always score. If it hurts, game breaks, we'll get you double it up, put on more steam. Protect our kickers, our quarterback, our lead, our ball game. All obstacles, block, cut, sides, 2 games after this win in. First year game, we're here for the first May. Can everybody give them 6 minutes?
The heart is a balloon, shoots up through the stony ground. There's no room, no space to rent in this town. You're out of luck, and the reason that you had to care, the traffic is stuck, and you're not moving anywhere. You thought you found a friend to take you out of this place, someone you could lend a hand in return for grace. It's a beautiful day. Sky falls, you feel like it's a beautiful day. So let it get away. You're on the road, but you got no destination. You're in the mud, in the maze of her imagination. Your love is down, even if that doesn't ring true. You've been all over, and it's been all over you. It's a beautiful day.
There on the field, the pride of the Southland band crisply marches into the Giant T. The rear, the roar of 97,000 fans rises with each rhythmic step. In the background, George Beatsis is singing "Fight, Balls, Fight." The orange and white Shakers flood the air. The Volunteers are ready at the north end of the football field to burst through the gate. They're coming now, racing onto the field through the Giant T. In that magic moment that says, wherever you are, it's football time in Tennessee.
Welcome to the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name is Boogie Bentley. I'm fired up. I'm excited about tonight. I am excited about tonight. It's the crossover of all crossovers, only right here on the Talkin VAWLS Network. Nowhere else. Believe me when I tell you, there is nowhere else on the internet that you can get representatives from VolQuest.com. You can get representatives from GoVols247. You can get representatives from A to Z Sports. There is nowhere on the planet that is going to take place other than the Talkin VAWLS Network. We're going to talk football. It's going to be a fun night. I promise you guys, it is going to be a fun night talking ball. We're not just talking about Tennessee football. Got a little ace up the sleeve. We may talk a little Tennessee baseball. You don't know what's going to happen, but the point is, this thing is bigger than Tennessee football. It's bigger than Tennessee athletics. This is where we have the opportunity to take this platform, take this community, what we have built together. Not me, not Dauber, not JP, Snake, Gabe, Xavier, anybody that comes on this channel, you, the Talkin VAWLS faithful, you, the heartbeat of the Tennessee fan base, have come together, built this community of almost 20,000 people. We need you. Share this thing out. Every single donation that comes in goes to the Fisher House Foundation. That's a military charity. We're going to get into that in just a second. It's going to be a big-time show. Tons of talk coming your way. We may be live 2 hours, 3 hours. I don't know. I know I say that all the time. Somebody called me out the other day. They said, how come Boogie always says we're going to be live all night long, and then he wraps up the show? Why does he do that? Right now, I've set a lofty goal, a gigantic, huge, ridiculous goal, and I set it for a reason. The goal is $7,500. In this show, it's not going to work out like I thought. I thought it was all about super chats. I thought that's what was going to do it. It's not. Once you set up an actual fundraiser, it's all about donations. So hit that donate button over there where super chats are usually at. Right now, we've raised almost $500. We just went live. We've raised almost $500. You guys got to help me. You got to share the link. You got to post this on Twitter, post it on Facebook, post it on Instagram. Let somebody know we're live. Let's grow this chat. And let's raise some money for a good cause. I'm not going to run down the chat yet. We'll get into you guys here in just a second. We got a timeline. We got a lot of people rolling in, rolling out. I got to get this guy on here. This guy kind of kick-started this thing a couple of years ago. Tim Bradley, a Talkin VAWLS OG, the enforcer. He will fight anybody that comes against Boogie. What's up, Tim?
Spine busters for everybody.
That's right. That's right. Nobody can talk bad about Boogie, and they're going to have to deal with Tim. They got to get through Tim to get to me. Dude, you're a Talkin VAWLS OG. We'll get into that in just a little bit. A couple of years ago, it was impromptu. We were on a live stream. There was no rhyme or reason. We didn't talk about it ahead of time. We just said, hey, let's donate every super chat that comes in. Let's donate that to a military charity, because anybody that knows my story, you know my little brother's story. I've talked about it multiple times on air. We love the military here on the Talkin VAWLS Network, and I said, Tim's a military guy. Give me a charity, and you kicked back Fisher House Foundation. They are getting every single donation. We're up to $520, guys. Keep hitting donate. Share this thing out. Let's grow it. We got to show strength in numbers. But, Tim, you said Fisher House Foundation. Why Fisher House Foundation? And tell us a little bit about your military background, too, as well.
Okay, so I'll start with that. I've been in 16 years between the active duty and the Army Reserves, and I'm also a civilian employee for the Army Reserves in Gray. But, 16 years, been a lot of places, done a lot of things. And I actually started donating. I found out about Fisher House when I was in basic training, and I've been donating to them ever since. Fisher House is it's a wonderful charity that is not as well known as, say, maybe like a Wounded Warrior Project or Tunnels to Towers or stuff like that. But their whole goal is they build comfort homes for military families that have loved ones that are in either VA hospitals or military hospitals. And the reason they do this is because, unbeknownst to a lot of people, the government does not pay to transport or lodge a family when that family's service member is wounded and in the hospital. This organization was founded in 1986 by Zachary Fisher and his wife Elizabeth. He was a builder, philanthropist. This spurred on an idea that was given to him by the then chief of naval operations, his wife. She said she saw a helicopter land at Bethesda Naval carrying a family of a wounded sailor in the 70s, and she knew that they had nowhere to stay. And I kind of akin it to this when I explain it to people. Anybody in the chat, if you've ever had a family member that had cancer or some type of major disease like that, and they're maybe have to go to St. Jude or somewhere far away from home. The burden, if you've been through that, the burden of finding lodging. So Fisher House started this. They've built over 90 homes. I believe now they're on a push to build 100. They're outside various VA hospitals. I mentioned Bethesda Naval, also Brooke Brooke Army Medical Center in Sam Houston, which is part of my story. My involvement with Fisher House, they've affected me personally, but that's a little bit about them. And these houses they build are very nice places. I've been to several of them and saw them. They're very nice places. They're basically like a dormitory. They can house up to 21 families in them. The rooms and bathrooms are private, and then the kitchens and living areas and stuff like that are shared. But that's what they're about, is taking that burden off of a family so they can focus on supporting their service member or their veteran that's in the hospital. They can focus 100% of their time on them. They don't have to be burdened with lodging.
You kind of talked about people that have gone through, with a loved one that had cancer. And I was talking to my wife about it because I knew a lot about what Fisher House does through our conversations previously. And, a couple of years ago when we did this thing, but watching the videos today, and I explained to her, I was like, there's so many rooms, and it's all about community, right? And it's like when my mom was in the hospital dying of cancer, like they said, we're not doing treatment anymore. Like we knew that was her final days. It was expensive, man, and thankfully, we had the money, and it was okay, and it was a short amount of time. They got her back home in a short amount of time, so we weren't kind of stretched thin. And also my brother's in the chat right now. The two of us kind of shared a hotel room for that week, and then they got her back home, so that burden wasn't on us. But I want to share a video, and it's this story kind of goes in depth of what Fisher House does, and this is personal, man. This is real life, and we got 120 people watching. That's not good enough. There's usually 100 people watching me play video games and throwing money at me. And I set a high goal. I set the goal at $7,500. Right now we've raised $535. I'm challenging you guys. And the reason I'm challenging, and I'm going to be transparent as transparent gets right now. The reason I set the goal at $7,500, because when Tennessee beat Alabama, we had 1,500 people watching that stream. We made $5,000 in less than 2 hours. That's full transparency. That's how much money went into my pocket, Dauber's pocket, the Talkin VAWLS family's pocket. $5,000. $5,000 because we beat Alabama. Guess what? Beating Alabama on the field, as much as we love it, I don't think there's anybody that loves Tennessee football more than me and Tim. Like, okay, that it is what it is. There are things more important than Tennessee football. So if we can raise $5,000 for what? For me to get tattoos and for me to buy video game machines, we can raise $7,500 for the Fisher House. So share this thing out. If you can't donate, I get it. We're up to $575 right now. Guys, keep donating. Put on more steam. Share this thing out. Let's get more people in here, but let's watch this video and let's make it personal and show you guys what the Fisher House is all about. This is good. May shed a few tears. Let's take a listen.
I received a phone call August 20th, about 8:33 in the morning Sunday, that he had suffered a severe injury.
On my second deployment to Iraq, my vehicle was hit with an IED.
And I was still in California with our 3-year-old daughter at that time at my parents' house. And I stayed put for a couple days until he was stable enough to fly to San Antonio.
But I was injured, and my wife was put here in the Fisher House.
So my first stop was the Fisher House before I even went to the hospital.
All the families here were pretty much going through the same thing my wife was going through. She could relate to them. She can talk to them about the problems that I'm having. They can talk to her, and having that family thing with these other family members sitting here was was good for my wife.
Even though I was crying in tears, I felt comfortable, I felt safe. It was, a home away from home.
Without the Fisher House here, my wife, she wouldn't be able to stay with me.
His rehab has been long, stressful, but worth it. We appreciate life more, the little things, not the big things. We're more humble. We're more of a humble family.
If it wasn't for the Fisher House, life would be so much more difficult for these families. They stay here for free. And coming here, having the support they have, and get to know other family members going through the same thing, it's quite therapeutic for these people. It's good to have them around. I wish there was more of them.
Want to give a shout out to Doug Spencer. Doug just donated $35. Appreciate that, Doug. Also, an anonymous donation of $20. Another anonymous donation of $10. Appreciate that. Wade Rouse donated $5. Thank you, Wade. We appreciate that. Tommy T donated $30. Thank you for that, Tommy. I'm scrolling through. Ethan Morton donated $5. Thank you, Ethan. Appreciate that donation. Guys, it's not coming through StreamYard, so I'm going to try to watch my phone and stay up to date. Robert Thomas, $50. That ain't cheap. Thank you, Robert. Appreciate that. In fact, you know what? We got a little thing we do around here when somebody donates $50. Guess what? We're going to do it when you donate $50 to Fisher House, too, because $50 ain't cheap. Everybody's got a price. Let's play the clip.
Money isn't everything. It's the only thing. And everyone has a price for the $1 Million Man.
I think that fits tonight. My good friend Jeremy Davis also donated $50. A lot of people donated before we ever went live. So thank you guys for the donations. Coach Jay just donated $50. Thank you, Coach Jay. Appreciate all you guys. Brennan Crandall just donated $20. Thank you guys. Let's get it going. Let's see how much money we can raise. We're up to almost $700. So we appreciate that. Thank you for the donations. Tim, this charity is important. It means a lot to you. And it means a lot to me. Even though I didn't serve, I appreciate every person that does. I think you understand that. But we got to have some fun tonight. We got to have some fun. We got to talk some ball. You're a Talkin VAWLS OG. Tell the people, a little bit about your Talkin VAWLS origin story. We got a couple of minutes here before we get Eric Cain on here to talk some ball. But tell them how has Talkin VAWLS changed from back in the day when I don't know how many subscribers we had, maybe 3 when you came on board, to now almost 20,000. What's the difference?
So I was when this stream started, I was stationed in Maryland, and I was working out of Fort Meade, and big college football fan. If you've ever lived up north, college football isn't, unless you're living around Columbus, Ohio, it's not really prevalent up there. And I was just kind of looking for some news. It was just hard to find news about the team and stuff like that. So I get on the YouTubes one day in the garage and I think Big Vol Daddy was the first Tennessee podcaster I'd ever seen, and I see this video pop up, Talkin VAWLS, and I think it was the 3rd taped episode that you guys had done.
Oh wow!
And I listened to it while I was working in the garage, and immediately went back and caught 1 and 2. So that's how I started, and I've been here ever since. Been here from the days of the old tape videos where all you had was the graphic of Neyland, and you heard JP and Snake and Boogie, and through the start of the live streams and finally putting faces to the names and all that stuff, and of course then moving back home in 2019 and getting back to good old East Tennessee. It's been a ride, man. It's I'm so tickled for you. The work you put into this, it's just awesome. And it really is. It's a community.
It is. It's like today's Xavier's birthday, and Xavier's going to be on here in just a little bit towards the end of the show. And it's like Xavier truly went from a dude in the chat to my wingman on certain streams to a friend. And that's how you, like, I joke because I get a lot of friend requests from people on Facebook, and I'm like, I have no idea who that is. Some people snuck in early when Tim Bradley could send me a friend request. So I'm like, that's Tim from Talkin VAWLS, serves in the military, good dude. I feel like I know you, and now we build a friendship out of it, and it's the beauty of this community. So I'm excited. I'm glad you turned me on to Fisher House. I thought there was no better person to come on to kick this live stream off than you, because you're the one that said, hey, this is the charity to go with. And now 2 years later, I think we got to use this platform for good, and having some communication with Fisher House, who they're in the chat right now. They're putting information out there. Every dollar donated makes a huge impact on our military and veteran families. We're up to almost $700. Let's put on more steam. But Tim, no better person to start this thing off. I appreciate you coming on. give me a couple of words about this season of Tennessee football, and then we'll get you out of here and get the guy with the best hair in the business, Eric Cain, is going to come on and talk some Tennessee football. He's nodding his head in the back. Nobody can see him. He's like, hey, I do have the best hair. Yeah, he liked that comment.
Well, if I could describe it in one or two words, it'd be turning point. I feel like what I saw this year was a team truly on the rise. And what I saw in the bowl game, while I saw stuff that concerned me, I saw more stuff that excited me than concerned me. And I haven't been able to say that about Tennessee football in a long time. When this show first started, it was pretty much a therapy session.
Misery.
It was misery, but we made it through. I trust Coach. Man knows what he's doing, and I believe he's going to be here for a long time. We might not be winning national championships in the next year or two, but we're daggum sure going to be competing for them.
I love it, man. Tim, I appreciate you coming on, buddy. Like I said, no better person to kick this thing off. We're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to talk some football coming up here in just a minute. But, Tim, thanks for coming on and putting a little highlight on the Military and Fisher House Foundation. Appreciate it, buddy.
Thank you so much, Boogie.
Later, man. All right, we got 157 people watching live right now. 157. I play video games and tell stupid jokes about Jennifer Aniston on Sunday nights. And about 80 people watch that and donate a lot of money. So let's put on more steam. If you can't donate, I get it. I understand. Share this thing out. Put it on Twitter. Retweet it. I've been promoting it all day, all week. Retweet it. Post it on Facebook. Post it on Instagram. Call up your Uncle Tommy and tell him we're live. Let's run it down here. We got Joey Carroll donates $20. Appreciate that, Joey Carroll. The Amish Trucker donates $5. An anonymous donation. I love an anonymous donation because that says this charity matters to me. I don't care about my name getting recognized. Here's $50. Timothy Willis donates $20. An anonymous donor for $20. Checkerboard End Zones donates $20. Appreciate that. SBG donates $30 directly to the charity. Tajon Washington, he's an OG, man. He goes back almost as long as Tim Bradley. Donates $20 as well. Let me continue to scroll down. That's it. We're caught up. Almost $900 raised. $900 raised. Let's put on more steam. Share this thing out. Let's continue to get those donations rolling in. I want 7,500. If I got to stay live all night, if I got to play video games, if I got to, I don't know, play tiddlywinks, I'm going to do something. We're going to stay live all night long until we raise $7,500. So let somebody know we're live. I'm already 3 minutes off schedule. Everybody's going to be mad at me, but that's okay because we're doing this for a good cause. Let's jump into a crossover. It's a night of crossovers. All it is crossovers. But this is the one that kind of kicked off crossover season. It's my favorite. It's my favorite. You guys talk about building YouTube channels and communities and yada, yada, yada. Sometimes you build friendships. Let's get locked on Talkin VAWLS.
You are Locked On Balls, your daily podcast.
Maybe.
On
Let me try that.
You are Locked On Balls, your daily podcast on the Tennessee Volunteers. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Come on, boys. What's up, Cainer? What's going on, man?
You had it the first time, man. There was no maybe about it. It was going.
I know, but what happens is I click the link, and you know how StreamYard works, and it's like, I'm going to play it for them, but not for you, and then you panic, and it's like, is it playing? Is it not playing? So then you kind of reset, and that's all right. We're dialed in. It's Locked On Talkin VAWLS here on it. I don't even know what is it. It's Wednesday night.
It's Wednesday, yeah. I've been off a day all week long. I did a video earlier and was like, here on a Tuesday, and I'm like, nope. It's Wednesday.
Yeah. No.
What happens if there's no game on Saturday, you know?
Yeah, you can't stay focused, you can't stay dialed in. One thing's for sure though, Locked On Talkin VAWLS kind of springboards this thing of crossovers. I've worked with you, I've worked with Ben McKee, I've worked with the guys at A to Z Sports, I've worked with Big Vol Daddy, so many people, and I've been saying, you know, as I was just talking to Tim 2 years ago, it was COVID and we were doing a live stream and I was like, you know what? Screw it. Every super chat that has come in, every super chat that comes in from this point forward, we're donating it to charity. One thing led to another. It becomes the Fisher House. And I've been saying ever since then, we got to do another charity stream. We got to do another charity stream. I keep talking about it, and then a couple of weeks ago, I was like, all right, it's time to make it happen. So immediately I tag you guys on Twitter. You immediately say, I'm in, let's do this thing. So I appreciate you taking time. I don't know how much you heard of Tim being on here. Fisher House Foundation is a great charity. The way they support the military, the families of the military, and they create a community, man, a community for these families in a desperate time, a time of need. Good charity.
Yeah, I've been doing some reading up on it today. I mean, I've been getting your posts the last couple of days and just trying to do my part and retweeting it. And, of course, I was going to jump on, man. I mean, I love jumping on here and talking with you guys, interacting in the comments section. But to do something good, like you were talking about last segment, we get put in some positions sometimes and we don't do enough, I feel like. And this is awesome, man. So 100% I'm dialed in. Tim was awesome. I think I caught it like the last 4 or 5 minutes of him. So the early origins of Talkin VAWLS, that was a whole lot of fun to listen to. So I do encourage everybody watching and listening. I know a lot of you guys have already given and you will give, but if you can't, that's okay. But every little bit, it goes a long way. So I donated. I tweeted out that link as well. I encourage you to do the same. And Boogie, this is really cool, man. I'm glad that you had me aboard for this.
Appreciate it, man. And yeah, there's strength in numbers, and we do have a responsibility. And spoiler alert for Ben coming up here on the next segment. Ben plays a part in this. Ben and Swain kind of play a part because the way they utilized their platform when they did the Swain event. But we'll get into that here coming up in just a second. Guys, we got almost 200 people watching live. Keep sharing the link. I can't say it enough. And this thing's going to be active until midnight. So anybody that's watching this on the replay and saying, dang, I missed it, I can't donate. Not so fast, my friend. Hit the donate button because it's going to stay there till midnight. Let's put on more steam. Are we to 1,000 yet? Are we to 1,000? We're close. $925 raised. Let's get to 1,000. Put on more steam. Share it out. Retweet it. Let's get there. Eric, I told you. I said, here's the link. Here's the time. We're not talking football. And you're like, wait, hold on a second. We're not talking any football. Yeah, we got 2 hours worth of content. I got to come up with something creative. And for me, as a fan, I've never been in the press box. I don't know what this looks like. And we'll talk some football here in just a second. But game day, from a media perspective, yeah, I see you guys at VolQuest, and you set up these sexy camera angles right in front of Neyland. Or, the funniest thing you said to me, I said, hey, Eric, I quit my job. I'm doing this full time. You want to come on and do a morning stream? And you're like, unfortunately, I'll be in Miami. Unfortunately. What a jerk. Unfortunately, I'll be in Miami.
Hey, Monday? It was Monday you wanted me to join. I would have rather been in Knoxville, Tennessee than in Miami, Florida on Monday. It was 50 degrees, rainy, and gross. So I
think it was negative 14 here. It was negative 14 here. But all jokes aside, I'm a fan. I watched the 2-minute drill right before kickoff, and you guys are set up in front of the stadium. What does a day in the life of the media look like on game day? Like, let's say Tennessee's kicking off 3:30 against Alabama. What's your day look like? And we'll kind of go from here. We'll wing it.
Yeah, so, first and foremost, when you said we weren't talking ball, I got nervous because I don't know much else. But I can talk this, so... it just kind of depends. Obviously, if it's a home or away game, we'll go home game. I'm blessed to not live too far away from the stadium, so typically, say it's a 3:30 game, I'll get there around about 1:30. Not too early, but I'll start parking and making my way up there, and then I'll link up with me or Rob. Will link up with Austin. We'll do the 2-minute drill right outside the stadium, and before COVID, we could go down to the field pregame and be on the field and take video and pictures and that type of stuff. Unfortunately, since the COVID season, we've not allowed on their pregame. So I just kind of make my way up to the press box and really just kind of, sit down there and get all my ducks in a row and then get the binoculars out there and look for pregame, see who's out there, who's not. It's pretty neat in that regard. What I really like is away games because, we're parking here. We're walking all the way around the stadium. So you see of course you see fans at home games too, but you see so many different Tennessee fans and their tailgates and, walking to the stadium like you or just in town. Like I remember going to Pittsburgh this year and I stayed in this hotel and it was kind of like a Market Square situation and there was orange everywhere. There was orange everywhere in Miami. I mean, I know Clemson was orange too, but there was Tennessee orange in Miami. South Carolina was not a good game, but there was Tennessee Vol orange everywhere. And so I really enjoy the away games, kind of walking from wherever you're parking up to the stadium and kind of that interaction. But typically just go there, take that 2-minute drill, get up to the press box and get ready to go. We're there so long after the game is over that I don't try to waste time during the day, like, getting there super early.
What did that post game Alabama look like? And not to spoiler alert, favorite moments of the year, but that Alabama game has to be up there, right? They kick the field goal, chaos ensues, they storm the field. Were you holding the camera? I can't remember who was on the post game for VolQuest. I just remember, I know Hubs was on because I remember seeing that video and some absolute lunatic comes on who's like, I want your channel on YouTube, man. And Hubs is just like, thanks, man. Like, what did that aftermath look like? So you're in the press box. When do you make your way to the field? Like, what does that look like in the final moments of that game?
Yeah, so typically if you are about 5-6 minutes left in the ball game, you can make your way from the press. If you're press box meeting, you can make your way from the press box down, and then you can stand on the sideline. Of course, there are photographers and videographers down there all game, but typically that's just so we can get some video of people walking off and all that type of stuff. So I did that for the Alabama game. I made my way down, and it was Princeton fan, I believe, there was an interception, but he kind of lobbied for the offensive pass interference. Like, as soon as I got on the sideline, that was the first play. And so I saw the last Jalen Hyatt touchdown. I saw the missed Alabama field goal, and then I was underneath the field goal of Chase McGrath. And so I remember just standing there, and I think Rick Russo, WVLT, was next to me, and I'm like, Rick, if he makes this, we got to sprint to the 50-yard line. He's like, you think so? I'm like, oh, I mean, and I turned around and I said, hey, are you guys storming the field? They're like, oh, yeah. So I'm like, yeah, we got to go. And so that thing split the uprights barely, and we just took off. And I ran to the 50-yard line. I turned around, got my phone out, and I just recorded it for the next, 10, 15 minutes. And then it took a while to get off the field because everybody was on there. But it was awesome, man. I mean, it was just pure joy. I mean, cigar smoke, probably some other type of stuff going on in there, but it was a whole lot of fun just to see the joy and that type of scene and be right there in the middle of it. I mean, it was really, really cool. And the video I got was incredible. We used a ton of that. And that's obviously a lasting moment from this season, but that's something that for as long as I cover football, that's something I'll never forget, that moment and that environment on the field after that game.
Yeah, it seems like I want to say that I texted you that night, and it seems like it was like 2 or 3 in the morning. You texted me back and was like, "Yeah, I'm home, man. This is what and it's like, man, what a moment!" But so many amazing moments this year, and I'm going to ask multiple guests coming up as we fill out this 2 hours worth of content. I'm going to ask multiple people this. What are your favorite moments of the year? And that's not necessarily, was it Hubs that wrote the article at VolQuest? Kind of like there was some good stuff in that, and the Ramel Keaton catch at Florida, how big that was, or obviously Chase McGrath's field goal. There's so many great moments. What moments stick out to you? And that could be on the field, it could be off the field, it could be a statement at a media appearance. What for you as a person, like you're a fan? So many people come at you and are like, well, Eric, why don't you wear orange? Eric, why don't you do this? Eric, why don't you do that? Like, you're a Tennessee fan. I know that. There's no doubt in my mind you're a Tennessee fan, but you're also a media guy. You can separate here. You can go media Eric or Tennessee fan Eric. What are the moments that really stick out to you from 2022? Because I feel like it was a special ride, man. I feel like it was special.
No doubt about it. I mean, you're a fan. Your life is engulfed in Tennessee football, and so if you're covering a team that's not fun, that it's not necessarily fun. Like, it doesn't change the workload. You're still going to work as hard as you do if you're good at your job, if they're winning or losing. But it's just so much more fun, and the engagement and your clientele is happy, and I mean it makes it all worthwhile. I will say there was a media appearance at the beginning of the season, maybe week 1, week 2, maybe it was in fall camp, I can't remember. And Jalen Hyatt got out there and said, I think Hendon Hooker is the best quarterback in the nation. I think Hendon Hooker is a Heisman quarterback. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, I mean, yeah, Hendon Hooker's good, but I mean, come on now, like, Heisman, what are you talking about, And I'll never forget that, because it's like he called the shot. Like, he was speaking for Hendon, called that shot, and Hendon didn't disappoint. Neither did Jalen, mind you. And I remember looking back after the LSU win, after the Alabama win, after beating Kentucky, and then as the season went along, and I'm like, holy crap, Hendon Hooker will likely be a Heisman finalist. The fact that he wasn't is a complete joke, mind you. I was like, Hendon Hooker might be a Heisman finalist. This team might be going to the college football playoffs, and Jalen Hyatt pretty much called that from the get-go. So that always sticks out to me. My favorite moment on the field this year, and this is one of those that Hubs wrote about the other day, the top 5 non-scoring plays, and he and I have talked about this all season long. In my opinion, the biggest moments or sequence, if you will, for the Tennessee football team was the drive right before halftime against Florida. I think that changed the whole complexion of the season. Tennessee's down, 14-10. It's 3rd and 10. You're on your own 12. Hooker drops back. He gets blitzed from the middle, evades that, hits Princeton Fant right at the sticks, goes to Ramel Keaton down the sideline, hits Brew McCoy on the wrap around, the drag at the back of the end zone. Tennessee goes up 17-10 at the half, and then the whole season just kind of takes off from there. So for me, on the field, that sequence, that drive is the one that I'll never forget. And then that Jalen Hyatt comment back in the summer, I'm just like, wow. I mean, he was right, and he saw him every single day in practice. They went up and backed it up.
I love that you brought up, because the Florida game, and we talked about it post-game, but now weeks later you look back on it and everybody talks about the Ramel Keaton catch. Hendon Hooker evading the pressure and hitting Princeton Fant it was a 3rd down, right? If I'm remembering right.
Yep.
That was huge. Because if that doesn't happen, if Hendon doesn't elude that pressure and connect with Princeton Fant, the throw to Ramel Keaton never happens.
Yep.
That was such a big play. We got to hit this question and we'll get you out the door. Seth says, did all composure and cool just leave your body, or were you able to contain your excitement? Talking about the Alabama kick going through the uprights.
No, I mean, for me, I was fine. I was keeping my head on a swivel. I mean, you're down there and you got lunatics running left and right, and you've got Alabama players who are making their way off the field, so you want to stay out of their way. I was keeping my head on a swivel and everything, but I mean, it was fun. I just, again, watching everybody else lose their mind and being able to capture a lot of that on my phone. It was really cool. I mean, seeing the goalposts come down, and what was even neater about that is once you finally made yourself out of that mob, and I went in the media room or whatever, and you're seeing replays on TV from like the blimp or from the plane or whatever, from the aerial view, and you're just seeing all that crap, and I'm like, wow, I was right in the middle of that. That is something I'll never forget. So it was fun. It was really, really neat. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those moments that I'll never, ever forget for as long as I live. Just the environment, the win, how it happened, the Hyatt 5 touchdowns. Alabama game was fun, but this whole year was fun, man. I mean, it was a good team to cover. They were good guys. You and I have had a blast, and, I mean, everybody interacting. It's been fun, man. Hopefully there will be many more years like this. That's hopeful, wishful thinking for sure.
Yeah, we've talked about it so much off air, how much more fun it is to cover this football team when they're succeeding versus when they're losing. Great, just a great ride. I've enjoyed the crossovers. I've enjoyed the friendship. That's something you tweeted out. Like, I enjoy the crossover. I enjoy gaining subscribers, but the friendships, that will last a lifetime. Eric, we're going to get you out the door. Give us the plugs. Obviously, Locked On Vols, all you Talkin Vols faithful. I'm going to be jumping on with Eric coming up here in a couple of weeks, so tune in for that. But throw out all the plugs, the shills, VolQuest, Locked On Vols. What do you got? And we'll get you out the door.
Yeah, every single day, 30 minutes or maybe a couple more minutes after that. It's Locked On Vols, YouTube, and wherever you listen. You can find me on Twitter @_Cainer, and of course, VolQuest.com. A lot of writing coming up. I'm really excited about that. And hey, all you baseball fans, I'm going to have a little something for Tennessee baseball in the next few days as well. So check into VolQuest.com for all that and all the Tennessee coverage out there.
All right, buddy. Appreciate you coming on. Look forward to more crossovers coming up over the next weeks and months and years.
Hey, Boogie, thank you for letting me be a part of this. All you guys watching and listening, y'all are awesome. And hey, donate. Every little bit helps. So appreciate you guys.
Appreciate it, buddy. Catch up soon.
Yep.
We got over 200 people watching live right now. Guys, it's not good enough. We got to continue to share the link. Put it on Twitter, Facebook. Continue to promote this stream. Every penny that comes in goes to the Fisher House Foundation. We broke it down earlier in the stream what that goes to. If you go to their website, Fisher House Foundation builds comfort homes where military and veteran families can stay free of charge while a loved one is in the hospital. These homes are located at military and VA medical centers around the world. Fisher Houses have up to 21 suites with private bedrooms and baths. Families share a common kitchen, laundry facilities, and warm dining room, and an inviting living room. It goes on to say since inception, the program has saved military and veteran families an estimated $547 million in out-of-pocket costs for lodging and transportation. Guys, every penny counts, man. This is a great organization. So much of this money goes directly to the charity. I'm not taking a cut. Nobody that's coming on this channel tonight is taking a cut. YouTube's not even taking a cut. That's why it's not Super Chats. It's all donations. I wish we could read your Super Chats on air, but that's just not the way it's working. But I appreciate every single donation. Continue to share this thing out. Let people know we're live. I'm going to jam through some real quick here. Adam Huckleby donated $5. Thank you for that. Kalen Stott donates $20. That ain't cheap. Thank you, Kalen. Appreciate that. Fred Pendergrass donates $20. Thank you, Fred. Let's see. We got an anonymous $5 donation, an anonymous $25 donation. Wow, and then I fat-fingered it. I got to go back up. Wouldn't be talking balls if I wasn't screwing things up here. Let me roll back up. We got Fred's $20. We got an anonymous $5, an anonymous $25. Mrs. Coach J donates $50. $50 ain't cheap. I'll play the clip for Mrs. Coach J. She deserves it. We're going to play the clip because $50, you deserve it.
Money isn't everything. It's the only thing. And everyone has a price for the $1 million man.
Thank you, Mrs. Coach J. Set the Four donates $20. Dan Yoder donates $20. Let me scroll through. UT Punkin for $20. Thank you for that. We appreciate it. Let me see. Am I caught up on donations? We got an anonymous $20 donation. Appreciate that. We've also got a new member of the channel. Jeffrey becomes a member. Thank you, Jeffrey. Appreciate that. But I'm not shilling for memberships or merch sales or anything like that. I'm shilling for the charity tonight. So, guys, keep those donations coming in. We got a fun guest coming up. Only Boogie can get VolQuest, GoVols 247, A to Z Sports. Maybe I could put the Middle East back together, but let's get this guy on here. The previous guy said he knew a little bit about baseball, but I think there's somebody that may know a little bit more. Let's get Ben McKee on here. What's up, Ben? How you doing tonight, buddy? You're muted, Ben. We can't start off muted. We got to dial this thing in.
There we go.
There we go.
I'm not muted anymore. Look, when you're a father of a almost 6-month-old, you got to make sure you're on mute at all times, except for when you're talking, obviously. But I appreciate you having me on. My dad was in the military 23 years, and I actually lived next to the Fisher House when we were stationed in good old Fort Bragg, North Carolina. So I appreciate you having me on and happy to help the cause.
Awesome. So let's throw an audible. You live next to a Fisher House. How familiar are you with this charity? How has it impacted you, or has it? Or just what do you know about Fisher House Foundation?
Not a whole lot, to be honest with you. I was in middle school. I was a kid when my dad was stationed at Fort Bragg. But just so happened that our house was on the end of the street of where we lived, and we had this big side yard where I'd go out and play football and baseball, but up above the yard was the Fisher House, and obviously had somewhat of an understanding of what the purpose of it was. And I think that is one thing our country can always be better with, and that's supporting our vets, but not specifically our vets, but vets who have been impacted by their service, whether that be something with medicals or mental health or just so on and so forth. We could talk about it for hours. There are so many vets in need that, quite frankly, there's just not enough help to go around. And I feel like we do a good job as a country of supporting our vets, but we could always do far better than the job we already do. So certainly understand the impact and was aware of the impact. Thankfully, my dad served 3 deployments and came home safe every time. But I went to school with kids whose parents or family members did not come home or came home with injuries. And it was real trying times for those families. So certainly understand the impact that the Fisher House can have. And I appreciate you having me on to try and help raise some money for it. And hopefully we can raise as much money as possible.
Yeah, it's a lot of people in this community on this channel. They know my story, my little brother, they know his story. People don't come back the same, man. And it's awesome that your dad did. And even though maybe you think he did, I don't know that he's the same guy. You know what I mean? Like, war changes people. And when my little brother came back, he wasn't the same. And that's what kind of drives my path. I never served, but my little brother did, my older brother did, and they're both stepbrothers. But guess what? blood means nothing to me. Like, they're both my brothers. They both served in the military. Little brother had a little bit harder circumstances, and that's what brings my military passion. But, you know, this thing, you have no idea what I'm about to say right now. You and Swain, man, like, you guys, and I know you still do your things on Friday nights or whatever, and it's not the Swain event anymore. You're not live every morning. So many people in this community, you know this. I know you know this. They looked forward to that. They love that. You guys, you weren't just putting out content. You weren't just putting out news. You were a community. Like, you guys were a community, and something that I admired you guys for. And Swain always talked about using your platform for good. And I'm a fan, man. Like everybody else in this chat, I would listen to you guys faithfully, working the 9 to 5. I would tune in every morning, man, and listen to you guys talk about community and using your platform for good. And you guys have done so many good things for so many people. And this was before this channel. This channel's blown up over the last year or two. This was way before that. And I was like, man, they're right. And it's got to the point now where we have almost 20,000 subscribers. And I'm like, all right, enough's enough. Quit saying Swain and Ben were right and start doing something positive. So you don't even realize it. You're a big part of what is kind of pushing me off this ledge to, man, let's do something positive for people. Even though, I don't even know if you know, I pulled the trigger, man. This is my career. Like, I quit the 9 to 5. I'm full steam ahead on YouTube. It don't matter, man. Like, there are some things that are bigger than self, and you and Swain, man, like, that's just real talk. What you guys did pushed me to this. So I thank you for that.
Well, I thank you for those kind words. That is really nice of you. And I'll make sure that we hold you accountable and make sure we have more of these throughout the year, because obviously I am all in on giving back to our veterans and helping our military. It's something that's near and dear to me. The Army-Navy football game is my favorite football game every single season. And I am somebody that grew up a diehard of Tennessee football and understand the importance of the Florida game and the Alabama game and the Georgia game. But because of my family's history with the military, that Army-Navy game hits differently for me. And every year I always have the slightest of regrets that I did not enlist in the military and serve my country, because I think that is the ultimate sacrifice and the ultimate honor. I don't think there's a bigger accomplishment in this country, in this world, even for people out there who are not Americans, but of their native homes, and just serving your country and being in the military, I think is the greatest honor somebody could ever have. So I appreciate this and those kind of words. I definitely wholeheartedly agree with what you said. We all have a platform. Twitter can be silly at times, but there can be a lot of people that follow you on Twitter or now on YouTube. YouTube's a huge platform where so many people watch, and there's so many avenues to social media and being able to hear what people say and think. So it's just important to spread love and to be kind to one another. And this is absolutely another avenue of doing that. So kudos to you. What you're doing is really, really important. And it's not easy. It's easy to be selfish in this business. There are a lot of selfish people in this business who only care about themselves, but the ones who are willing to cut away some time and make it about others and try to uplift others and give back. Those are the people that are doing it the right way. So I applaud you as well, my friend.
100%. Ricky D in the chat says, come on, everybody, give $1. Everything helps. We can reach our goal. I'm going to continue to pump it, man. You guys showed up, showed out, showed love after that Alabama game. Let's do it for something that's way bigger than Tennessee, Alabama. Let's support Fisher House. Let those donations continue to roll in. We're over $1,100. I know I set a high goal. I'll stay live all night long if I have to. I'm going to stay live as long as possible. Let's keep those donations coming in. But I want to have some fun. I want to talk some ball. I want to talk a little baseball. Spoiler alert. But first, same question I just asked Eric a few moments ago. Like, what a great season for Tennessee football. We've been through the ringer, man. Like, I go to church with some Clemson fans and a guy that's Alex, my co-director for Upward Basketball, they're big Clemson fans. His wife came into the church last night with a Clemson shirt. And I'm like, can you really wear that in front of me? And she's like, hey, I've been through it. And I was like, I get it. I'm not going to talk trash because I've been through it too. We've been through it as Tennessee fans. What a fun ride in year 2 of the Josh Heupel era. What are your favorite moments that stand out on the field, off the field, whatever, anything, like moments that stand out to you?
Yeah, mine's without a doubt the Alabama game. I mean, it's not even close. And obviously I've had to pivot to somewhat of a role of trying to be as unbiased as possible and trying to say things with my head and not my heart. And I feel like I do a pretty good job of that for the most part. But the people that know me the most, know me the best, they know that the Alabama game means something different for me. And that is because I went to high school in Alabama. A lot of my buddies went to the University of Alabama or are simply Alabama fans. And I moved to Huntsville, Alabama in between my sophomore and junior year, which was 2011, I believe. So midway through the Dooley tenure. And I lived in the heart of Alabama for 6, 7, 8 years before I transferred up to college here at UT and stayed here and obviously now live in Knoxville, but still have all those buddies now for over a decade. And I mean, it was just Alabama beating Tennessee's brains in every single season and me not ever having anything to brag about or talk about or mess with them about. And so to have that moment was really, really cool. And obviously, in my opinion, Alabama is the biggest rival for Tennessee in football. And to finally get that monkey off the back. And I enjoyed it because obviously got to be down on the field when the kick went through. And my immediate thought was my granddaddy who passed away a couple of years ago. I knew he was watching and smiling and enjoying that moment. So to have that moment while all the craziness was going on around me. And I love looking back at the video that I was able to take on the field, and I kind of panned out and upward, and you could still see enough people on the field, but also the stadium still looked full, and the fireworks were going off, and the stadium lights were lit with orange. I mean, that's one of the scenes in my head that I will never forget for the life of me. So that was by far my favorite moment. I think the Florida, the end of the Florida game fits that same mold in terms of the ending. The only difference is did not storm the field afterwards, but for Kamal Hadden to intercept that pass and secure the Tennessee win. And I'll always remember just the crowd erupting when Kamal Hadden intercepted that pass to end it. And I was a student in 2016 and sitting in the student section when Dobbs and the rest of the guys ended the streak. The Ducks pull trucks game or whatever it is that Quincy Wilson and Jalen Teestaber were talking about. I was in the student section for that one. So that one will always be in my memory bank, but this one will this season as well with Checker Nealand and game day. If I remember correctly, it feels so long ago. But just a really cool season and a season that I did not see coming. I mean, it was truly magical. That's the only way that I've been able to describe it. I thought Tennessee would have a successful year 2 under Josh Heupel. I did not at all see 11-2 wins over LSU, Alabama, Florida. I know Kentucky is tier 2 or tier 3 on the schedule, but I know Tennessee fans enjoy beating Kentucky fans. So to have that moment as well, and then to cap it with an Orange Bowl win over Clemson. I mean, what would you have told me, Boogie, if I told you before the season that Tennessee was going to beat Alabama and Clemson in the same season? Jalen Hyatt was going to win the Biletnikoff. Hendon Hooker should have been a true finalist for the Heisman. And Tennessee was a game away, essentially, from going to Atlanta to play for an SEC championship game and potentially the college football playoff. So it was truly magical with just so many great moments that I don't think Tennessee fans are going to forget for a very long time.
Yeah, it's almost like one of those hypothetical questions, right, that so many people throw at you in the preseason. Well, what if Tennessee did this but then lost to South Carolina? And it's like, well, I don't want to answer that. Like, I really don't want to answer that. And that's kind of what we got faced with. You brought up an interesting point, though. You talked about ending the streak to Florida. And you mentioned your grandfather in the Alabama game, and that's something that's very important to me. It's something that me and Dauber talk about on the regular. My co-host here, my wingman on the Talkin VAWLS Network, is it's not always about the football. It's about the people that you partake in football with, right? And, I mean, I've been friends with Dauber since grade school. Like, we've known each other forever. And that's the beauty of the Talkin VAWLS Network. When people think maybe we're fighting with each other or arguing, why did this person quit and leave? Well, because we all have lives, and people go different directions. But we're all real-life friends. And me and Dauber took that Florida game in. And, like, that's a moment you can't take from me. Like, we were so irate in that first half, and then Tennessee came back and got the win, and we celebrated that together. The first Tennessee football game I ever witnessed. I'm 41 years old, Ben. I've seen a lot of Tennessee football, but the first game I took in, I was an adult, and the guy that I went to that game with is no longer here. He's no longer passed away from brain cancer. And it's like, you can't take that moment away from me. It was Louisiana Tech. No, Tennessee, Louisiana Tech, really? Does anybody else remember that game? No, but I do, because I remember going through the Vol Walk, and he had on a Munoz jersey, and we made fun of him. Who buys an offensive lineman jersey? Like, Chris, nobody buys offensive lineman jerseys. But guess what? We went through the Vol Walk, and guess whose daddy was standing front and center? Michael Munoz was standing front and center and saw my buddy and said, I like your jersey, and they took a picture together. And that memory, that moment will stick with me forever, man. Like, he's no longer with me, but we took in a meaningless Tennessee game. But you mentioned your grandfather and the Alabama game. Me taking in that Florida game with Dauber. It's Tennessee football is bigger than football. You mentioned your grandfather. Like expand on that a little bit with your relationship with your grandfather and that Alabama rivalry.
Well, you didn't tell me that I was signing up to get emotional on here, Boogie. So I'm gonna have to.
I was crying earlier. I was crying before I went live, just watching these Fisher House videos, bro. So you can get emotional too.
No, I know. No, my granddaddy meant the world to me, and one of the biggest reasons I was a Tennessee fan growing up. I mean, I didn't pick Tennessee. Tennessee picked me, I guess, in a way, and I don't even know if that's the correct way to look at it. I mean, my dad was a Tennessee fan. My mom was a Tennessee fan. My dad graduated from UT, did their ROTC program, and I was born in September of '95. He graduated the ROTC program in December of '95, and he's always told me stories about carrying me around campus and going to class with him and bumping into Jay Graham and getting Jay Graham to sign a stub of a ticket because he wasn't going to be able to go to the game that weekend. And my mom went to UT Martin, which we and my family, because my dad, myself, and my sister all graduated from UT here in Knoxville. My mom went to UT Martin, and so we like to mess with her a little bit. But that's still a University of Tennessee.
Still family.
Correct. It's still in the family tree. It's just like a brother or a sister. So, my family's from the entire state of Tennessee. My granddaddy grew up in Munford, right outside of Memphis, and that's where my dad grew up. And my mom's from Paris, Tennessee. So I moved everywhere growing up. I lived all over. I never really had one home, but I always knew that Tennessee was my home, and it was always my dream to attend the University of Tennessee one day because I wanted to get back and have that home, have that final place that I can have after moving around for so long. So I can certainly appreciate your story about going to the meaningless football games because that was me growing up. I didn't get to go to a ton of games because we didn't live close enough. The closest places we lived was Fort Bragg, North Carolina, which I still believe was like a 7 or 8 hour drive. And that's not easy on the parents when they have two kids essentially in middle school. And then we lived in Savannah, Georgia. That's not an easy drive either. Huntsville was close. It's only 3 hours. But I was there my junior and senior year of high school. So we were able to go to some games. But I remember going to the Ole Miss game in 2004. That was my first Tennessee game, the game that Jonathan Wade had a pick six. And it's just funny how things come full circle because you mentioned Swain earlier. Swain's one of my best friends right to this day. I talk to him every single day. I mean, it's mostly shooting the mess about stuff. But he's my big bro that I never had. And to become close friends with him after he played in my first ever game in Neyland, the first Tennessee game that I ever went to. And wide receiver is my favorite position. I don't really know why. But Swain was one of my favorite players growing up when I was in middle school, when I was 10, 11, 12 years old. And to watch him play and then work with him one day and really put together a neat product like we did, and to still be friends was really cool. But it all goes back to my granddaddy, because after every game, I would either call him or he would call me, and we would talk about the games. I remember the 2016 Georgia game. Well, I guess it wasn't 16; it was 15. The game at home when they wore the smoky grays and they won late. I mean, my granddaddy called me right after the game was over, right after. And if he didn't call me, I was calling him right after. And it wasn't even a super in-depth conversation or a lengthy conversation, but it was like, hey, did you watch the game? And it was just a cool thing that we shared together. So, and even the Hail Mary game, I didn't go to the Hail Mary in Athens, but I'll always remember what I was doing and where I was. And I was sitting in my parents' living room in Huntsville, Alabama, with my granddaddy in town with my granny. And I mean, I shot out the house in a heartbeat and ran down the street, and my house just was pure pandemonium. So it's just those memories that you create along the way. And it's all stems from my grandparents, because they grew up in Tennessee, and then obviously my parents did. And now I've settled down, and hopefully one day my son will want to go to Tennessee. It'll be a huge upset if he's not a Tennessee fan as much as he's around it. Obviously, he can do what he wants as long as he's doing something. And he's going to grow up opposite of the way I did. I grew up moving around a ton. He's probably going to grow up in the same city for 18 years. So he may want to get out of Knoxville by the time it's time to go to college, and that'll be fine. But it'll be a huge upset if he doesn't carry on the traditions and the passion that I grew up having, and it all stems from my granddaddy.
We talk a lot on this channel about the young generation and how we see kids wearing Alabama stuff and Clemson stuff and Ohio State stuff. Josh Heupel's changing that, and that excites me. You know, the video that went viral of the kid opening the Jalen Hyatt autograph and bawling. That's what we got to get back to, and that's what Josh Heupel's doing. Look, Ben, every time I get you on, I say we're going to talk baseball, and then we run out of time and don't talk baseball. We got to get you back on and talk baseball at some point. Give us some plugs. I know Go Vols 247. That's kind of what I plugged this stream as. You did a great podcast last year, and people may get mad at me, but guess what? I have no affiliations. I have no ties. I can say whatever I want to say. You and Eric killed it on your baseball podcast last year, but you've both kind of parted ways since then. Where can we see Ben McKee cover this Tennessee baseball team? Because, and I'm not asking you for a big breakdown because I'm about 15 minutes behind schedule right now, but 2 years ago, that baseball team, scrappy bunch, they were fighting, scratching, clawing, they found a way to win. Last year, dominant, but didn't get to Omaha. Where can Tennessee fans find some baseball coverage from Ben McKee coming up this summer? Well,
you should know better to have me on if you're running behind schedule, because Lord knows I love to talk, even for somebody in a profession that requires talking. But really excited for baseball season. 44 days away. I'm not counting or anything. It'll be a fun season. They have the makings of winning the national championship, and we'll certainly have plenty of coverage. The Diamond Vols podcast will make a return in some capacity. Eric and I are technically no longer co-workers, and obviously won't be doing the podcast, but I know he'll be covering the baseball team in great depth over these next couple of months. And obviously I will continue to do that as well, or at least try my best to do so. And the good people can keep up with it over at Go Vols 247. Got plenty of coverage of the basketball team right now, and we'll certainly shift into baseball season because it is right around the corner. And folks can also follow me at Ben McKee 14 on Twitter. And I appreciate you having me on so much, and thank you for doing this. The meaning behind it is absolutely tremendous. And it means a lot to me from the bottom of my heart. I mean that. So appreciate you, and happy to jump on anytime.
Appreciate it, man. Thanks for coming on. We'll catch up soon. Thanks for jumping on with us. Later, buddy. All right, we got what do we got? We still got 200 people watching live. Let me jam through some of these donations. We got an anonymous for $20, Ricky D for $20. Did I already mention that one? I may have. A Stiddy donated $5 to Fisher House Foundation. We got an anonymous donation for $1. Appreciate that. VFL Willie for $5. Thank you for that. Josh Hyatt donated $50. $50 ain't cheap. When you donate $50, we got to play the clip.
Money isn't everything. It's the only thing. And everyone has a price for the $1 Million Man.
Thank you, Josh. We appreciate the $50. We got an anonymous donation for $10. Lil Ugly donated $1. Thank you for that. Bleed Orange donated $20. I thank you. I'm very grateful for you guys showing love. EPC donated $5. Thank you for that. We got an anonymous donation for $5. Jody Wooten donated $20. So thank you for that. Guys, put on more steam. Share the link out. Let people know we're live. I'm way behind. I got so many people in the back room. I know they're mad at me. I'm like, guys, I'm going to stay on schedule. I'm so far behind, but we're trying to raise money for a good cause. So bear with me. We got to get this guy on. This guy is a Tennessee football YouTube OG. He was doing YouTube before YouTube was cool. All of us trying to capitalize and make money. This guy started it. Big Vol Daddy, what's up, buddy?
What's happening, Boogie? How you doing? I hope I've got my mic on. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, you sound great, buddy. How you doing today?
All right. Doing well. Hey, listen, shout out to all of the vets out there. You guys, I've got my Army hat on. I had a lot of people in the Army in my family. My brother was in the Army. My dad was in the Army. My stepdad was in the Army. Old BVD was going to be in the Army, but a heart murmur kept me out. So I've got love for Army and all of the vets, everything those guys do. And I honestly had never heard of the Fisher House until you mentioned it. And what an awesome place to be giving money to. So you guys share this out. Please share this out. Donate if you can. Even the guys and gals that are donating $1, whatever you can do, helps. And it's all going to an amazing organization.
Yeah, somebody asked me earlier, said, Boogie, can you leave this thing open for another day? I can extend it. I'll extend it to tomorrow night at midnight. So if you guys, anybody catching the replay after the fact, it's still open. Hit that donate button. I set it at $7,500, and the reason why, Big Vol Daddy, I said it earlier. We made $5,000. $5,000 when we beat Alabama. Does Boogie deserve $5,000? Does Dauber deserve $5,000? No, we don't. Does the military deserve it? Yes, 100%. So let's continue to put on more steam. Guys, share the link. Continue to grow this thing. It's the crossover of all crossovers. But Big Vol Daddy, let's have some fun. Let's talk about Tennessee football. Special season, man. Special season. I know you were in the back room. You heard me and Ben kind of talking about it a little bit. Nobody expected this in year 2 of the Josh Heupel era. How happy are you year 2, even though that South Carolina loss stings? How happy are you with where this football team ended up?
I wasn't going to mention the South Carolina game because
you got to.
The Vandy game eased the pain a little bit, but then the Clemson game for me personally, because I know so many Clemson people, some of my good friends here in town, any of you guys in the chat that know anything about Greenville, remember the Bean Barn. My buddies that owned the Bean Barn. How about this? The husband was a Tennessee fan. The wife was a Clemson fan. And my poor buddy Jerry had to spend the game. Well, I guess wasn't so poor now, but he spent the game in a house full of Clemson fans. I think they were down somewhere in South Carolina or somewhere when he was watching the game. But anyway, that game for me, given what they did to us in 03 season, 04 Chick-fil-A Bowl when they embarrassed us, we were clearly the better team. That game was really special to me. And obviously we could all probably sit here and talk about Alabama all night long, but I think we all know how special that was. And I'm calling him the Bama Slayer, but I'm hoping to get Chase McGrath on here in a few weeks. So maybe we can get Talkin VAWLS hooked up with him too. If I can get him, you can get him. So I want to know what that must have felt like to have been. Obviously, that kick wasn't the prettiest thing in the world, but it ended up causing the goalpost to go in the Tennessee River. So it was pretty daggone good-looking kick from my perspective. I want to find out what he was feeling that night.
Did you think his reaction afterwards was a little weird? Like, the holder, the snapper, everybody's going nuts, and he was kind of like he was kind of like very chill, man, very chill for a dude that could do whatever he wanted in Knoxville that night. I mean, anything, Big Ball. Think of the worst of the worst that you could possibly do as a man. He could do whatever he wanted that night. Anything.
He should never have to buy a meal in that town again, or a drink, or anything else. I mean, it's not often that we beat Alabama, right? 15 years in a row losing to them. I was lucky enough to be at the 82 streak ender and the 95 streak ender, and I swore that I would be at the next streak ender, but I missed this game. But I can't imagine it would have been any more fun sitting up in the upper deck than it was watching it right here from home with an Alabama fan sitting next to me. So that game will live in all of us long time, and maybe even the short time Tennessee fans, that'll live in our memory forever. And hopefully we can continue it, because Boogie, the Tennessee-Alabama game it's a streaky series. So if we're going just on history, we should win the next 3 or 4 at least.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Phil Fulmer owned Alabama. That's why they hate him. That's why they hate him. Obviously, there's some outside stuff that went on there, but they hated Phil Fulmer because he dominated Alabama, because it is such a streaky series. So, I've always said the last couple of years that Josh Heupel's the cure for battered Vol syndrome. I really think that he is. And I don't want to talk about South Carolina. Let's ignore the South Carolina game. He's the cure, man. He's the cure. Let me jam through some more donations. I think I mentioned Jody Wooten for $20. Wayne Starnes for $50. Thank you, Wayne. Jason Lawrence, this is what I'm talking about, man. Sunday night, Jason came in, donated so much money while I was playing video games, hanging out, talking Vol football. He just dropped $200. He's the biggest donor of the night for the Fisher Foundation. Jason, we'll play the clip for you, buddy. This is just for you, Jason. Thank you for the $200 for the Fisher House Foundation.
Money isn't everything. It's the only thing. And everyone has a price for the $1 million man.
Man, do what? Yeah, $200 man.
$200 man.
Yeah, following that up, we also got an anonymous $50 donation. So thank you for that. We are up to $1,500. Guys, not enough. It's not good enough. It ain't good enough. I'm not satisfied. Put on more steam. Share it out. Retweet it. Let somebody know we're live. Zach, Charlie, you're in the background doing nothing. You're watching the show. Get to work, son. Get to work. Retweet it. Tell somebody Talkin VAWLS is live. It's the crossover of all crossovers. We got to raise $7,500. Big Vol Daddy, I may be up all night. I got some stuff up. I got some stuff in my back pocket. If we don't get where I need to be, I'm going to pull out all stops. I may be live all night long. We'll see how it plays out. Oh,
maybe your first 24-hour live stream, Buggy.
I've been talking about it. I don't know that I can do it. Let's talk about early predictions for 2023, Big Vol Daddy. What do you think? The bowl game, the Orange Bowl, was kind of a preview, right? I mean, Joe Milton, that's going to be your quarterback, your wide receivers. They're all coming back. Jacob Warren just announced today he's coming back. What do you think for 2023?
Tough schedule. Yeah, you gotta acknowledge that right out of the gate. Just like this year, though, we got 2 tough home games and 2 tough road games out of our 4 big games. I will never, as long as I live, consider Kentucky a big game. I just can't do it. Kentucky or Vanderbilt, those should be. Those should always be walkthrough games for us. UTSA, that's going to be a tougher game, I think, than people realize. With the transfer portal, all of these marginal teams, they've got some good players. And I talked to Kay Ballard's dad, quarterback at Army, a few weeks ago, and he talked specifically about UTSA and some of the teams that he saw Army play, and it just blew him away at some of the great athletes he saw through that get to these places through the transfer portal. So, like it or not, that's today's college football. The early predictions for next year, I mean, at the very least, Boogie, we've got to duplicate what we did this year. Got to. college football fans are a fickle bunch. Let's just play devil's advocate for just a second and say Tennessee loses 4 games next year, which, who knows? I don't want to jinx anything, but you never know. You never know what injuries are going to cause. But let's just, like I said, play devil's advocate. Tennessee loses 4 games next year. I don't think they will. But does our fan base lose its mind, or do we just say, okay, we were a little bit ahead of schedule anyway with Heupel, we can handle this? What do you think?
I don't know. That's kind of been a talking point for me here lately. It's like, I'm looking at the schedule next year, and I look at Joe Milton. Obviously, I get a little excited watching him in the Orange Bowl, but I'm like 8-4. Like, if Tennessee finishes 8-4, we got to be patient. I think 2024 is the year. A lot of people in the chat agree with me on that. Look at the recruiting classes. They're stacking some major talent, but I think this is kind of a weird year for Tennessee coming up in 2023. And I saw where Ben McKee, who was on right before you, he tweeted out only 5 kids, Big Vol Daddy, from the class of 21 are left on this football team. That's a big talent gap. And yes, the transfer portal changes that, and we got the guys from A to Z Sports. Zach and Charlie going to be coming on here in just a few minutes. We're going to talk about the transfer portal. That changes everything. That kind of allows Josh Heupel to kind of close that gap, right? But when you're talking about 5 guys left on your roster from the class of 21, that's a big hurdle to overcome.
It is. I think if anybody's shown that he can hop that hurdle, it's Heupel and this staff. They do amazing things, in my opinion, considering they're going up against Georgia, Alabama. Who else has been really good in recruiting in the SEC here lately? And Miami, where and how are they getting all these kids? They're terrible.
Money.
I get
money.
No.
Do I need to play the $1 Million Man clip again, Big Vol Daddy? Money,
Yeah,
money runs the world.
Miami. Yeah.
It runs the world, brother. Francis
It's
Mangoa.
running our favorite sport, unfortunately.
Do you think it's ruining the sport? I see a lot of people, like I put out the tweet, or I promoted the Jalen Hyatt video this morning, all of his stuff. And again, not too much spoiler alert for the A to Z Sports guys. That's what we're going to talk about. But do you think the transfer portal and NIL is ruining college football?
I don't. You might have misunderstood me. I said running, not ruining.
Mm-hmm.
It's running college football right now, and it's just it's the way it is. It's the new college football, like it or not. We got to deal with it. And for some of us older guys, like yourself, well, you're not nearly as old as I am, but you're not a early 20s either. You've seen how things used to work in college football. It's tough to get used to, but I'm slowly adapting. And you said it in a video. It's always been about money, whether it was the $100 handshake or the the McDonald's bag or the Chick-fil-A bag or whatever. These kids have been getting paid. Not all of them, but they've been getting paid as long as I've been around.
Yep.
But now, and it's even in high school football now. That is what drives me crazy. So we'll see. I mean, we're still going to love our sport regardless of how much or how little money's involved in a player that we may or may not get. And whether that's got anything to do with the kid that you just talked about a minute ago, his name just went right out the window. Right, the running back.
Yep.
Where could he possibly go? And I'm going to keep listening when you talk to these other guys. Where could he possibly go that would be a better fit for him than where he's at right now? He's surely
Nowhere.
the number 1 guy next year, right?
I mean, he led the team in rushing this year.
Yeah.
But it's about that cash. That's what the tweets indicate. And again, spoiler alert for coming up with Zach and Charlie here in just a second. But he led the team in rushing. But if you can get that bag somewhere else, he's going to go somewhere else and still split carries. And that's what I said in the video this morning. No matter where he goes, if you're going to an elite program, you're going to split carries, period.
Yeah.
End of story.
Yeah, the days of one guy being the man all year long are long since over.
Yes.
Is what it is, Boogie. We can like it or lump it, as they say in the old days. And I'm going to continue to like it, especially when Tennessee's on the upward trajectory that we're on right now.
It's way more fun when Tennessee's on top. All right, Big Ball Daddy, we're going to get you out the door. Give me a prediction for next year. Way too early. Spoiler alert, we're going to do a live stream next week. Way too early predictions, and we're going to break it down for an hour. But give me your way too early record prediction for 2023.
I'm going to say the same thing I said this past preseason. 10-2 with a bowl win. I don't know if we'll win the East or not. I would love to play Alabama twice in a season. I think that would be amazing because you know what that means. We play them twice. So give me 11-2 again. I'll take it next year.
You think 2024 is our year?
It should be, but we'll see. Why not? Why not us? That 12-team playoff in 2024, right?
I think Tennessee will definitely be in the playoff in 2024. Yeah. Are they hot at the right time? Is everybody healthy? That's why I don't like the 12-team playoff, but that's a conversation for another day. Big Ball Daddy, appreciate you coming on, buddy. Give us the plugs. You got a big interview coming up soon. Plug that, and we'll get you out the door.
Yeah, this Friday, I got a former Tennessee volunteer going to be on the show with me. I put a video up about it. And next Wednesday, I want to do these on Wednesday, but I canceled tonight so I could be on here with Boogie. Next Wednesday, a current Tennessee volunteer will be coming on the show with me to do an interview. So you guys, you know how to find me on YouTube. Just search my name and it'll pop something stupid of mine up probably from the past.
An Alabama video.
More than likely. Yep. But you can find me by the same name on Twitter and Facebook. So appreciate everybody. Appreciate you, Boogie, for doing this. Appreciate you having me on for a few minutes tonight. And you guys, hit that donate button. And you don't have to give what it suggests when you click on it. It gives you a suggestion. You don't have to do that. Click that other button and see if somebody in here can outdo the $200 man.
Yeah, click that $500 button. Let's do it.
Get this Fisher House some dough. Boogie, have a good one, brother.
Appreciate it, buddy. Thanks for coming on. We'll catch up soon.
All right, buddy.
All right, later, man. All right, let's see where we're at. Let me jam through some donations. James Thompson for $100. $100 ain't cheap. I'll play the clip. Why not? I'll play the clip. Why would I not play the clip? $100 donation to the Fisher House deserves the clip.
Money isn't everything. It's the only thing. And everyone has a price for the $1 million man.
We got a $20 anonymous donation. Appreciate that. Another $20 anonymous donation. We got Ryan Willis donating $50. I'll play the clip again. I'll play the clip all night. You guys keep dropping 50s for the Fisher House. We'll play them all night long.
Money isn't everything. It's the only thing. And everyone has a price for the $1 million man.
An Orange Sea Line donated $5. Thank you for that, Gary. We appreciate it. We're caught up. We're getting close to $2,000, man. Let's freaking get there. Let's get to $2,000. I set the goal so freaking ridiculous because I'm challenging you guys. If you can give me and my stupid friends $5,000 because Tennessee beat Alabama, you can give $7,500 to the Fisher House. Let's do it. Continue to put on more steam. Share out this thing. Retweet it. Put it on, I don't know, Instagram. What do the kids do these days? Snapchat and TikTok? I don't know what any of that crap is. I'm way too old for it. Get it out there. Let's move forward with the show. The crossover of all crossovers. These guys, you guys demanded it. Had a fun show with them a couple of months ago. A to Z Sports.com. Let's get Charlie and Zach on the show. What's going on, fellas?
What's up?
What's up? Thanks for having us.
Gosh, I appreciate you guys being paid. I knew you guys were screwed. You know, I told Eric and Ben, I'm like, y'all will be fine. You're early, and I'm like, Zach and Charlie going to get screwed because I can't keep up with the time. Like when people start talking, I let them talk.
Hey, look, every week when we do our live stream, we talk about how we need to keep it to an hour because one of us has something to do, and ends up being an hour and a half, hour 40. So we get it. It's tough. Once you get going, you just keep talking and keep going.
If you don't go overtime, you're not having like that great of a show. If we're being totally honest, that's how you really know.
And it's for charity, right? We'll stay live all night. That's the goal.
There you go.
I'm going to be, my wife's like, how long are you going to be on? I was like, probably midnight because we won't hit the goal, and I'll just keep promising people stuff, and I'll stay live all night. But I told you guys something I wanted to talk about. The transfer portal got hot and heavy today. A lot of roster movement today. You got a couple of offensive linemen into the portal, and not to disrespect them, not really a big deal. I think that's not going to be a problem. The two guys that entered the portal. Walker Merrill kind of created some buzz. We'll get into that. Let's talk about, first and foremost, the cryptic Jalen Wright tweets. I saw you guys tweeting about it, talking about it. Charlie, what'd you think when you saw the tweets? What was your instinct when you first saw it, and then when you had time to process it? Jalen Wright tweeting out, it's just business. It's all about business.
I mean, it's hard not to have PTSD back to the Jonathan Kongbo tweet, right? The shoes, was it shoes hanging up on a power line?
And then they claimed it was Madden, right?
Yeah,
it's like,
is it really FIFA?
Yeah.
Hard not to think about that. I think at the end of the day, you kind of said it there to Big Vol Daddy. Where's it going to go where it's going to be that much sweeter outside of NIL money? So to me, there's got to be about NIL money, right? Like, it just really struck me where he's kind of playing the game and just sort of saying, I know I got value. I'm your leading rusher. I'm gonna go out there and stir up the fans, show you how much they like me, and I'll show you the comments. Hey, look, they want me to stay, and then maybe get hooked up with new NIL. I know a lot of people don't like that, and understandably so. But at this point, I mean, that's a huge ball that's already rolling downhill, and you're not going to stop it. So you just got to play the game.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those things where you hate to have to read into all these tweets because it might mean something that has nothing to do with football at all. But, if it is what Charlie's talking about, an NIL deal, and we don't know that, I get it. I mean, that's kind of your leverage. That's what you can do as a college football player to kind of maximize your earnings. It's happening everywhere. We saw it with Tyler Barron last year. He entered the portal for 12 hours, it seemed like, and he was right back out. So nowadays with Twitter, you really don't even have to do that. You can do like Jalen Wright did. He knows he can send that cryptic tweet out. He knows the Tennessee fan base. It blew up within 45 minutes. Everybody thinks he's hitting the portal, and maybe some conversations happen at the facility, and they work something out, and then he gets what he wants. We'll just have to see how it plays out. But I'm the same way as y'all. I don't know where you're going to go that it's that much better. He led the team in rushing yards, like you were talking about earlier, Boogie, and I mean, he's obviously a key part of the team. What more could you want, really?
What do you guys think about? I was talking to Dauber, my wingman, my co-host here on the Talkin VAWLS Network. We were texting last night. He's like, dude, you're going to make a video on Jalen Wright. What do you know that I don't? And we were kind of talking about it and talking about NIL and the maybe an offer's out there for him. He's not in the portal, guys. He's not even in the portal. And I said, Dauber, do I really need to respond to this? Do you not understand? Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? It's like Big Vol Daddy just said. College football players have been getting paid for a long time, Charlie. You don't necessarily have to be in the portal to get an NIL offer because tampering is the new paying under the table, right? Like, it's illegal to pay players. Well, it's illegal to tamper, and everybody in the country's doing it, whether it's through back channels with, former high school teammates, high school coaches, relatives, family members, or just direct freaking conversation. It's happening everywhere.
I mean, tampering like this tampering thing, how do you define it? Like you said, high school coaches, if a high school coach goes and says, the player talks to his coach, like, I'd like to go to South Carolina, a Missouri player wants to go to South Carolina. Well, he gets in touch with the South Carolina staff and he's like, yeah, they would like to have you. He goes back to that guy at Missouri, says, yeah, they would like to have you. Go ahead and go in the portal. I mean, there's no direct contact there. Is that out of bounds? Because if you're a player at Missouri or wherever, you go in the portal, how many players get stuck in that portal and never get out? You kind of want to know if you have a place before you go in the portal. So I can kind of see it both ways.
Yeah, I mean, I always say, and the people that watch our show are probably tired of hearing this. I've said it a lot lately. Like, SEC football is a snake pit. You have to be a viper to win. And that's why all of these dudes that are greats, nobody just goes around saying he's such a great person and everybody loves him and oh my goodness, he just goes around hugging people and kissing babies. No, they're psychos. All of these coaches are great in SEC football. And so there's no honor among thieves in this stuff. And to go like, oh, we shouldn't do the NIL stuff or anything. We shouldn't do the tampering. It's, again, kind of going back. It's a big ball that's already rolling downhill. It's too late. Toothpaste is out of the tube. And so you just have to embrace what is actually going on, to me. And the fact is, that is paying these dudes. And for right now, it's the absolute Wild West. Unfortunately, I think it'll get ironed out because, like what Zach said, there are dudes going into this portal that just get stuck in purgatory. They just sit there. They didn't have a place to go. They didn't really think it through. They thought they were going to greener pastures, and there was nothing there. And then, all of these guys thinking they have this NIL value, they go searching for it, then they don't find it. It'll start evening out some, and you're not going to have to pay millions and millions of dollars. But I mean, who put out that tweet? I think you sent it to me, Zach. One of the recruiting guys or somebody that said he talked to 4 different recruits, and 2 of the 4 said they had been offered over $1 million out of the some event, some like recruiting event they went to. Coaches had come up and been like, "We'll hook you up with $1 million plus."
Yeah, it was an article from The Athletic.
Yeah, okay, so it was The Athletic. I mean, that's just absolutely insane. But if that's what the market is fetching at the moment, you gotta play the game. You have to get these guys in. It's about the Jimmies and Joes at the end of the day. I think Heupel is as far in the direction of making up for a lack of talent. That's his whole system. It sort of makes up that gap. Obviously, I mean, you beat Alabama this year. Alabama has far more talent than Tennessee. It's great for that. But at the end of the day, you are going to have to get up to that Georgia point to be great and consistently compete for championships. And you got to get dudes in here. It is what it is.
But don't you think you have to prioritize that? Like something in talking with Spire Sports Group, talking with James Clausen, and what Josh Heupel's priority is. Don't you think you have to prioritize? Is Jalen Wright a priority? He's your leading rusher, right? He's your returning leader. I think he's the best running back on the team. I've said that all year long. And then when the chips fall where they may, he's the leading rusher on the football team. Had like 9 or 10 carries less than Jabari Small. Still had more yardage, like 6 yards a carry. He's a dude. He is a dude. But when you're talking about funds are limited. Like we like to get on here as Tennessee fans and brag and boast and say we got deep pockets, we got all the money in the world. We really don't. You got to prioritize. It's like Carnell Tate. And, I made a video about Nathan Laycock a couple of weeks ago. Nathan Laycock now, according to On3, take it for what it's worth. You can go to 247, you can go to Rivals, you can go to ESPN, you can go to Tom, Dick, and Harry. I don't care who gives you your recruiting rankings. On3 has Nathan Laycock number 10, Carnell Tate number 9. At one point, Carnell Tate was one of the top receivers in the country, and there was rumors of $1.5 million. So how much do you trust your player evaluation and this coaching staff? And where do you put your priorities, Zach? Do you put it on wide receivers, or do you put it on offensive tackles, edge rushers, and $8 million quarterbacks?
I think that's part of what's so hard about managing rosters right now as a college football coach. And it's changed so rapidly over the last 5 years, where this right now would be a pretty quiet time of year for a coach right after the bowl game. But now you've still got the portal open. It's a really difficult question to ask because Charlie referenced that article from The Athletic where they interviewed like 13 top-level recruits, and their answers about NIL were all over the place. You had a guy saying he got offered $3.2 million for 4 years or 3 years to play. Then you had guys saying, we didn't get offered anything, or they just told us they'd hook us up with their collective and they'd work out some NIL deals with us. So this stuff's so far all over the place. I don't know how a coach or a collective or whoever's trying to, determine what a player's worth, how they can come to that determination, because everybody's throwing out different amounts. So I think that goes into what you prioritize. Is a wide receiver cost more than a offensive tackle? I think it all starts with the offensive line, right? Defensive line, offensive line, you got to have those guys. If you don't have protection, doesn't matter who you have out there, wide receiver. So, for me, I would start there in the trenches. But again, I don't know how you determine what a guy's worth. Are you overpaying? You might be giving a guy a couple million that maybe only had a $250,000 offer from someone else, or you might send him such a low ball offer that it turns him away, and he doesn't want anything to do with you at all. He'll go somewhere else. So I don't envy these coaches right now at all. And you got to have really good support staff to go through all these guys in the portal, because there's some – it's just like recruiting. I mean, there's some really good talent in there, and then there's some guys it's like, okay, why is this guy transferring from Kansas or wherever he's at? Can he not see the field at Kansas? What makes you think he's going to do well in Knoxville? So just because a guy's in the portal doesn't mean he's your answer.
Yeah, I want to talk to somebody who facilitates that stuff. That's the most fascinating person in college football.
Charlie's been trying to get somebody for – we've been trying to get someone to actually go on the record.
I know.
On the record's the key.
Yeah.
On the record's the key.
Like there is just no way to get insight into that, because when we talk about all this stuff, we're like, oh, we got offered this, he got offered that, $1 million. But I mean, what do we have that even confirms any of that? This $8 million Nico deal, there's literally nothing. Like, you think there's a paper trail with that? Probably not.
Wasn't that an Athletic article too? Wasn't that what kind of?
They never named him, and it was all through this attorney. The source was the attorney in California, which is kind of how everybody connected the dots. Kind of same hometown as Nico. So then, you don't know what's legit and what's not. And look, you've talked about it being, it's a dirty world, college football, with money flying back and forth. And I have to believe that there's a lot of numbers being thrown around that aren't accurate. And there's probably some reasons for that. Not to get too conspiracy theory or anything like that, but I mean, that's just the world of recruiting. And with the portal, and you'll do anything to win almost. And you got to believe that that's happening too.
There's got to be at some point some genuine market transparency, because you look at the way the NFL conducts this, all of the contract, everything, all
language,
of the
all of it.
Yeah. Anytime any guy gets a deal, and that's how the market gets set. You go, oh, AJ Brown got X, and so the next guy who's at that level is going to get X. And you just can't gauge, the kids and the coaches can't gauge any of that. I mean, how would they? Is Josh Heupel going to call up Nick Saban and be like, hey, how much money did you give Bryce? What do you think he's making? Like, they're not talking to each other like that, so nobody knows, I'm sure, what everybody else is making outside of just back channels. Maybe a GA comes from LSU to Tennessee, and he goes, oh, well, we gave this kid this and this. Maybe that way, but otherwise, like, there just has to be something in order for this to get ironed out a little bit. But until then, man, you might be paying a 4-star guy $1 million. I don't know.
That's why the cart's so far out in front of the horse, because there is no restrictions. And that's, when the NIL first started, I was like, hold on a second. We're going way too fast. We went from it's illegal to pay to pay whatever you want. $8 million quarterbacks coming to Tennessee. I'm like, well, okay, that's cool, because we're getting a legitimate 5-star quarterback. I'm happy with it. That's fine with me. But in the grand scheme of things, you need some type of government restriction. NFL, this is like unrestricted free agency. Pay to play is wide open. It's the system's broken. But if we got the money to pay, then I'm fine with it. Let's just go pay. That's what I've been. Any other fan base that talks trash, I'm like, cool, we'll outbid you. I don't care. As long as we got the money, let's go. But you got to have some type of restriction in place, right? I mean, you have to.
I've always been the type of person. I mean, I was saying this years ago when I was on with Swain and Ben and stuff. Like, lie, cheat, and steal, as far as I'm concerned. Because first of all,
Eddie Guerrero style.
Do what?
Eddie Guerrero style. Yeah, you have to watch. Okay, you got to watch wrestling if you're throwing out lie, cheat, steal.
That is one I know. I'm not a huge wrestling guy, but that is one I know. But yeah, like, as far as that goes, I see nothing. I hear nothing. Go do what you have to do. That's it. And Tennessee just always just screwed around. The resources were always there. And then finally, you got kind of a gangster up top now with Danny White. And he's willing to do that stuff. He's willing to get down in the mud and play the game that you got to play. And I'm so happy to see that. I also think at president of the university, too, I always bring this one up. Randy Boyd, having a mega donor to the school as your school president, there's no doubt in my mind that makes a difference. And in terms of getting serious about sports.
So he showed where he stood at the Alabama game when that video circulated of him, and he was happy to see those goalposts coming down. He said,
That's great.
I'll pay for it every week. I don't care.
Yeah. He's got that baseball stadium money. He'll be all right.
Yeah.
Yep. You love to see it. Guys, I appreciate you coming on. We're still raising money for the charity. We're at $2,200 right now. Thank you guys for coming on. Give me the plugs. Where can they go find A to Z Sports? You know, sometimes we go head-to-head, and that's fine because there's enough space for everybody. But one of my favorite things you guys do is having Crompton on for the halftime show. And a lot of times I'm working at halftime. Like, I've got the game on. I'm trying to get prepared for our post-game show, and I'm listening, Charlie, to you and Crompton. I love the way he breaks it down. But give us some plugs. Where can our listeners find you guys?
Yeah, like you said, halftime, post game is where we compete, but that's okay. Watch you want to watch.
There's enough space.
Yeah, me and Crompton, halftime, post game of every Tennessee football game, and then me and Zach every Monday, 4 p.m. Eastern time. We sort of ended up picking a time. There's really nothing on at that.
That's a perfect time. Yeah, it really is a good time.
And we live stream. A bunch of the people that I've seen in the comments here come over and hang out with us while we're live streaming, and we really appreciate that. Good to see you here. And then just for all Zach stuff, I mean, I'll let him go too, but A to Z sports.com, and I'll just say, everybody, donate. Get that money for this great cause.
Yeah, just check out A to Z sports.com, on Twitter at A to Z Sports. I'm at Zach TNT on Twitter, at Charlie Burst on Twitter. Easy to find us. We're out there and around. Just go subscribe to the YouTube channel too.
Yeah, Zach has become the real Twitter guy. He posts the video clips. He's the video clip guy now.
Yeah. I'll say Zach's a great follow on Twitter. There's times that I'm about to make a video and I was like, I saw that. I know Zach's got it. I'll just go to his Twitter and grab that clip. Like, Zach's a great follow on Twitter, so go follow Zach TNT. But I love what you guys do. We got to do more crossovers moving forward. Like I've said it multiple times on this stream, this is the gig now. I told the man to go to hell. This is the full-time job. So we'll do more crossovers coming up this year, whether it's in the morning. We'll iron it out. We'll iron it out where I can, you guys come on. If I want to come on your show, more collaborations coming up. I'm excited about it. Thank you guys for coming on. Appreciate your time tonight.
Absolutely.
All right,
Appreciate
thanks
it.
for having us. Go donate.
Later, fellas.
Yep.
All right, let me jam through some donations real quick. We got an anonymous for $5. We got Dauber showing how big of a contributor he is. Dauber donates $100. If Dauber can donate $100, you guys can. Holy cow, y'all are going nuts in the chat right now. Dauber donates $100. We got an anonymous $200 donation. Eric Arnold donates $150. I'm going to play the clip for all you guys.
Money isn't everything. It's the only thing. And everyone has a price for the $1 million man.
We got another anonymous donation for $20. Let me see. Are we caught up? Are we caught up on donations? We're caught up on donations. We appreciate you guys. We're up to $2,257. We set the goal at $7,500. So I'm proud of you guys. I'm proud of you guys for what we've done. We got a long way to go. If we've got to stay live all night long, we're going to stay live all night long. $7,500 is where I want to get to. Because when we beat Alabama and tear down goalposts, you guys get on here drunk and act a fool, and you donate all kinds of money. You got to do better. You got to do better. We're going to continue to talk some Tennessee football. We're going to have some fun. We're bringing some OGs on. We'll take a little break. I'm going to play a little clip, a little intro, and I'm going to bring these cats on. We're going to continue to talk some Tennessee football. So we'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Share this thing out on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, where all the kids go. Share it there. We would appreciate it. We'll be right back.
Heart is a balloon, shoots up through the stony ground. There's no room, no space to rent in this town. You're out of luck, and the reason that you had to care, the traffic is stuck, and you're not moving anywhere. You thought you found a friend to take you out of this place, someone you could lend a hand in return for grace. It's a beautiful day. Sky falls, you feel like it's a beautiful day. So
Come on, boys. What's up, fellas? Welcome to the Talkin VAWLS Network. Look at you.
Oh, Boogie.
Look at you guys. Look at you guys.
What's going on, fellas?
Couple of gray beards down there on the bottom. We got Dauber muted. We got X Factor looking gorgeous up here on the top right. Wouldn't be Talkin VAWLS live if we didn't have a couple of gray beards and a muted Dauber.
That's right. What's up, fellas? Yeah, I said this is the birthday look, so.
Happy birthday to the X Factor, brother.
Happy birthday,
man.
Happy
birthday, Xavier.
Thank you. Blessed to be 28. Blessed to be 28. Almost pushing 30.
I thought you were 22, Xavier.
Hey, well, you know, at least I'm a little bit older than Gabe, so you know, at least I can go have a beer legally. So
he can't even buy a cigar. Like he can't
Yeah,
buy
I
a cigar
know.
where he's at. How about Gabe? I'm like, hey Gabe, biggest stream of the year. We're donating a bunch of money to charity. He's like, I'm gonna go play video games and stream it and try to put money in my pocket. That's where Gabe's at. That's what Gabe's doing. He's playing video games on Twitch.
More to him.
More power to him. How you guys doing tonight? What do you guys, Dauber? Let's talk about. Actually, no, I'm not going to talk to Dauber. I'm going to talk to one man. Actually, I'm going to talk to two men because these two clowns on the bottom. Let's talk about the history of the Talkin VAWLS Network. JP, did you ever think in a million years when you came to me and said, Boogie, let's start a Tennessee football podcast? Speaking of, that's a pet peeve. Anybody that says, hey, it's a podcast. We've got a podcast. I've got a podcast. You've got a podcast. We've got a. It's not a podcast. It's a YouTube channel. But JP, when you first came to me, you said, hey, let's start a podcast. Did you ever in a million years think that we would be on here and raising $2,200 as of now?
No, never.
For a charity, for a military charity.
No, never would have thought that in a million years. And Boogie, thank you for doing this charity stream tonight for the military families and for the Fisher House. That's great, man. I appreciate that. But yeah, never in a million years would have thought it. But it just tells you what the power of the Big Orange Nation has for sure, and you know the things that certainly this channel that you've been able to build, you know, over the last few years, you know, with the help with many of these folks that are on here and stuff like that. But yeah, it's just been amazing, and it's great to see for sure.
Snake, what do you think? It was funny, like having Tim on to open the show and him kind of recapping the history. And he's like, yeah, I first found the channel and it was Boogie, JP, and Snake talking and like a bunch of stupid pictures. Roll it. Like we started this channel together. The reason JP came to me is because we're acting like a bunch of idiots playing video games on the internet. And here we are raising money for a good cause, man.
Yeah. I mean, first of all, thanks for doing this for you know, this awesome cause. I think most of us probably have military family members. I've got two uncles and a great uncle that was in, you know, World War II. And so what a great job that they do, you know, supporting our veterans. And those are, I guess those are enrolled right now. So thank you to them, and thank you to all the military out there for your service. Man, I mean, we could reminisce all night, couldn't we, Boogie?
That's what I want to do, cause like we've talked a lot of football. We'll continue to talk football, but that's kind of what I want to do right now is just reminisce, man, and talk about where this channel started, where it's at, and where it's going, man, in the future.
I remember sitting in your living room, right? You said, "Come on over. We'll film a video." Just sitting here talking. And the very first video, I don't. Were we playing NCAA football or something? Sitting in your.
I think it was basketball. I think it was a basketball game.
Oh,
it was labeled. I actually just deleted all that stuff this week because I was like, people are going to go search it. It was titled "The Worst YouTube Video of All Time."
Yes,
it was awful. It was awful.
We went from that, I mean, to man, 5-minute Minecraft was probably one of the most enjoyable things I've done in my life.
we were like 3 years too late, man. 3 years too late.
Oh yeah, and but I mean, of course, going to UT football games with you, best times of my life. You know, going to the University of Tennessee, best time of my life. Your vision for this channel and how you've grown it, it's amazing. Way to go. Congratulations to you. Congratulations on this awesome night and this raising some money for a great charity.
It's nuts to look at how it's changed, right? And it pained me to go back and to delete some of that. Like the stuff we did on Forza was so much fun. But through all of that brought us to this, right? It's kind of like we started, and I remind my wife on the regular, I'm like, do you remember when it was, because it was the night that we said we're going to do this. I remember I was working and I was like, screw it, I'm leaving at 12. And you're like, I'll leave early too. And we made that first video, and then we all went out to eat that night. And it was kind of like, all right, when we make $50, you guys have to do this or that, or you have to respect us if we make $50. And it's like, think back to that. And they were laughing and they were like, yeah, you all can spend every dime you ever make. You're never going to make a penny. And every time I get an opportunity, I tell my wife, I'm like, yeah, you want to talk about how much money we make on YouTube anymore? You want to bring that back up? But it's crazy because from those days to, we started doing this weird stuff. Like, people would just come to me and say, hey, let's talk about Indie Kid. Like, before Indie Kid was ever on Talkin VAWLS, he was like, let's just talk about WrestleMania. And then it was like Comic Cast, because somebody said, hey, you've got a YouTube channel, let's do Comic Cast. And then it was the Wrestling Council. And all this stuff happened. And finally, the cards fell where they fell. And I was like, screw it, I'm done with everything. It was about the time that Dauber came on. I said, I'm killing the Wrestling Council. I'm killing Comic Cast. I'm killing everything. We're changing the channel name to Talkin VAWLS Network. Dauber, you came on. You told me and JP, I don't think I can do this. And we said, dude, just come be yourself. You know Tennessee football as well as we do. How's it changed since you came on?
Man,
in what, 4 years?
I think it's longer than that, man. It's been a while. I was like, man, that's not in my wheelhouse. I don't know how comfortable I am doing that. I don't want to be all professional. I don't want to be on video,
Snake.
That scared me. But man, it's become something that I look forward to. It has grown into like you've. We've talked about it, a community. This almost 20,000 subscriber community. It is just an amazing thing to be a small little part of. I'm glad I get to contribute and be involved. I thoroughly enjoy it. I'm glad that you guys twisted my arm. Because it is. It's a lot of the same things that most Tennessee fans do after every game. You talk with your buddies, you send text message group, you get on, you watch these videos. We're just doing this, and we've got a bunch of other people listening. And that's, to me, that's the beauty of it is all these other people, we're saying the things that they're saying that they're thinking, and we're just putting it out there. And then to watch people in the chat and go back and forth. I know you guys talked about moments of the season this year. And for the Alabama game, I'd gone down to Atlanta, and I was with some friends, and we were watching the game on the TV. I took my stuff and set up my computer in their guest bedroom where I was staying. But we've talked so much about the relationships, and that is what college football, that is what college athletics means. It's the group of friends I have that I went to UT with, that we try to get together one game a year and tailgate. It's you guys. It's the text messages back and forth during a game that probably couldn't fly on YouTube.
That's not good news.
I had to quit those.
I had to mute JP.
Bad.
I had to mute
JP
bad in that text thread.
For my health.
Listen, it's a big day today. Not only are we coming together, and you've brought all these different platforms together to raise money for the Fisher House Foundation. You all, everybody, I am surprised that nobody has brought this up. It is a huge day for Tennessee athletics. Looking back, it is the 24th anniversary of the 98 championship. And I'll bring out a little prop.
Oh, God, is he going to drink again?
No. Here, Rocky Top of the World.
I can show my Daily Beacon paper up there that some jerk gave me.
Grab it.
I can't grab it. It's on the wall, Snake.
It
I
is-
helped Snake move, and he said, "I can't really pay you, but here's this paper." And I'm like, "That's way better than payment, brother."
Hey, Boogie, let me let you in on a little secret. Those are free.
I don't care. It ain't free when it's signed by Philip Fulmer.
Oh, nice.
That's right.
Next level.
Hey, man,
I collected it myself from campus too.
How many did you steal from the newspaper machine?
Oh,
Snake?
man, I just grabbed a stack like that.
Stack up.
Yeah.
But what's the story though? You got them signed by Fulmer somewhere.
Yeah, so my mom told me that she knew someone that knew Fulmer, and if I ever wanted to get something, signed or anything, to just let her know, and she'd get in touch with them. Well, I grabbed a whole stack. I was like, "Hey, send these over," and I think I probably got 5 of them autographed, so signed. So I've got one, you've got one. I don't know where the rest of them are.
Yeah, mine's framed, matted, orange matting. It's even when Fulmer went down with the ship with Jeremy Pruitt, I'm like, it's gonna always hang in my office because Phil Fulmer will always be my guy. Let me jam through some donations real quick. Dakota donates $5. Thank you, Dakota. Roger Gerald donates $20. Appreciate that. We got an anonymous $50 donation. Very generous. We appreciate that. Thank you guys for all the support. We're up to $2,300. We are.
It's awesome.
That's
We're almost-
amazing. Well, let's go. Let's get it up.
But should I bring out the big guns? Should I go ahead and bring out the big guns? We're at 2,300. I'm going to call you guys up. I'm going to let Xavier talk here in just a second, but I'm going to call you guys out. If you guys can get to $3,000 before 9:15, you got 18 minutes. I got to piss. These guys are going to run the show. I'm dying. I've been live for 2 hours. If you guys can get to $3,000, that's $700 in the next 18 minutes before 9:15. Coach Jay is waiting. He's waiting. He's ready. He's going to break down the film for Jonathan Eccles, class of 24, already committed. Coach Jay said, "Boogie, I'll be waiting. I'm ready and going to go. When you need me, you call me in." I'm calling Coach Jay in. If you guys can get it up to $3,000, we're $700 away. We just got an anonymous donation for $50. I'm going to stay live all freaking night if I have to get to $7,500. I refuse to take $5,000 to my pocket, to Dauber's pocket, to my family's pocket when the military needs your support. You guys don't want to support the military. You want to support 2 idiots up here? These 2 morons? You want to give us $5,000 because Tennessee beat Alabama when the military needs you? Donate to the Fisher House Foundation right now. We get that thing up to $3,000. We'll get Coach Jay on here and break down some film. If not, it's fine. X Factor, tell your story because it's all about from fan to fan call-in to wingman to friend. How did you end up on the Talkin VAWLS network?
Just like as you just broke it down right there. Just, I was looking for Tennessee VAWLS football content, and I stumbled onto you guys, and then I was just like, I said, Talkin VAWLS network. I said, let me check these guys out. And, I was kind of just scrolling through some old videos, during, the Jeremy Pruitt era, which, as we can all agree, it was the most depressing era of Tennessee football. I mean, even all you guys in your previous video sounded depressed. Like,
we were.
It was
X Factor. We were.
Yeah.
Especially JP.
It was.
Been depressed a lot on this show.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, but that's just the beauty of it, though. Like I said, and that's why even for this season, we got to just appreciate 11-2, man, because if you go back and rewind what we looked like going through with Jeremy Pruitt, and like I said, I've been a Tennessee fan for a while, even through, the Butch Jones eras, which, I said over and times again on the show, I really wasn't upset with Butch Jones. It's just he just couldn't get us over that hump. But then there's Jeremy Pruitt, he just couldn't get it done. And that's why I was like, okay, this is where we're at. Enter Josh Heupel, and I'm just like, really? A UCF coach? I mean, is this how far that Tennessee football has fallen? And I will say this, Josh Heupel he shut me up. He shut me up really good. And we love him as our coach. So, but anyway, like I said, found content. Then I found you guys. And then I was just like, fan calling show. All right. So then hopped on here, interact with you guys, talking Tennessee football. And it just grew, man, and then it just grew into having the meet and greet, because it was very funny how I discovered Boogie that he was actually a local guy, or we're these Tennessee guys, and he was like, yeah, he said we should hang out, and so we hung out one good time, and now, like I said, he's literally, I call him a friend, I call him a brother, and just like even Dauber, because I met Dauber that same day, and even Snake too, because Snake was there. My bad, Snake. I almost forgot about you, bro. But
Yeah, he's
now
gotten so much grayer since then. Look how old he looks.
I see that.
Me and JP,
And
we're
then
just brothers, the same age, man.
And then JP, I hope I get to meet you soon, brother. I really, really do.
Hey, we got to get the Talkin VAWLS Christmas party. It's January. We got to get it scheduled. We're going to get it. I promise you.
That's a little late there, Boogie.
Yeah.
I know. Xavier's been on me, and I'm like, dude, we're so busy with the bowl game because where the bowl game fell kind of really put a wrench in it. We're going to do it in the next couple of weeks. We'll find a night for the 5 of us to get together, hang out. Have a couple of cold brewskis. It'll be a good time. Looking forward to it. Let's talk expectations, and by us, I mean you guys. We got another anonymous for $50, still around $2,300. Guys, if you don't hit 3, we're going to wrap the show up. But the donation button's going to stay open until you guys said tonight's not good enough. So I'm going to leave it open until tomorrow at midnight, and you guys can continue to donate. Please share the stream out. Truly, it would mean a lot. It's not about us. It's about the Fisher House. It was awesome to have Tim on at the top of the show and kind of talk about why we stumbled across the Fisher House, the Fisher House, and the fact that they've been in the chat all night, interacting with you guys, being appreciative, dropping knowledge, dropping facts. You can see this one right here. Anybody that's not sure about the Fisher House Foundation, 19 consecutive 4-star ratings from Charity Navigator. It is a good charity. You guys, you've got, again, who more can you trust than Tim? Like, Tim's story was amazing. I didn't even know the fact that Tim had interacted with Fisher House before. I just knew he told me it was a charity we could trust. But let's talk about expectations for 2023. Dabra, I'll let you take over, kick it off. What are you looking for? You guys break it down. I'll miss all of it and come back and make you repeat it here in a couple of minutes because I'm about to die. I'll be right back. Dabra, you're in charge. Actually, Xavier, you're in charge. But go ahead, Dabra.
Man, looking forward to 2023. I think that there are a lot of unknowns.
Yeah.
I think offensively, you can't help but feel that there's going to be a little bit of a step back. I hope Joe Milton continues to progress and plays, evolves to the level that Hendon Hooker did. He's got all the talent. He's got a cannon of an arm. Can he dial in that accuracy? That's the questions I have about that. I said from year one when Josh Heupel took over, I said offensively this is going to be dynamic and different than anything we've ever seen at Tennessee because you went from Johnny Majors football to Philip Fulmer football, and it was all, smash mouth football, run the ball, pound the rock. And then, towards the end of Philip Fulmer's career, offenses were changing. You had the spread, you had Spurrier and the fun and gun and, all these things, the air raid stuff and teams on the West Coast, spreading the field and doing all these things. And Tennessee, you put on a game and you see all these teams breaking off these huge chunk plays and scoring, 40 points a game, and Tennessee is still grinding out to get 10 yards and a first down. And it just it really made that's part of what made Tennessee football, being a Tennessee football fan, hard. But I said, Josh Heupel coming in, man, this offense is going to get theirs. They're going to score their points. They're going to get the ball to the skilled athletes and use the space, use tempo, and it's going to be fun. It's going to be different. And, man, it has been. To overachieve last year, to start this year 8-0, unbelievable. I look forward to, trending kind of that same way. I think the offense is going to score their points. I think that defensively, they went after in recruiting defense heavy this year. And I think they're looking to kind of shore that end up. But you know, Big Vol Daddy said 10 wins counting the bowl next year. I don't know. I said 8-2 this year. You know, or 8-5. I kind of think 8-9 wins next year, and that with what we've got, I think that is realistic. Anything else beyond that, I think you're definitely still trending. I agree with Boogie. I think 2024 is a season. I think if I've said it before, and I got brutally, dubbed as a Nico hater. I think if you see Nico play next year, this team is struggling because Joe Milton is struggling and they're looking for answers. But I mean, Nico is the golden arm, the $8 million kid. I don't know, Snake. What do you think?
Yeah, my expectations are probably right around where you are. I'm thinking, I mean, as far as record, I'm thinking hopefully we can be at least a 9-3 season. That's my kind of my goal. It's kind of my where my expectations are. I'm looking forward to seeing Joe Milton, see if he can have the same kind of growth and season that Hendon Hooker had, right? Like you said, I think Dauber, if he can improve just steadily throughout the season, it's going to be special again. This season was special, right? We said it all season long, and we just had to sit back and enjoy it. If Milton can improve throughout the season, it's gonna be a good season. Like you said, we do need to shore up a few things, maybe in the secondary. What do you think? I don't know. We might need to play some better, in the back end. I really don't expect us to have a huge drop off next year. I don't know. Maybe I'm drinking the Kool-Aid, but I feel pretty confident. What do you think, JP?
Well, I mean, I think that it's going to come down to the quarterback play. I mean, I was encouraged by the Orange Bowl and what Milton was able to do because, I mean, Clemson's got a really good defense. And, yeah, there was a couple of their star guys that had, opted out and everything like that. But that's still a pretty good defense with some talent on there. But to me, that's the X factor with it. Sorry, Xavier. I mean, that's what it is. We have witnessed bad quarterback play at Tennessee far too often, and we know how that ends up. I think defensively, I think that we got an opportunity to be better next year. I'm super excited about some of those young guys, some of those freshmen that started playing more this year. Tyree West, Joseph, Pierce. I'm excited about a couple of those freshman linebackers. Obviously, the secondary is another huge issue. We've got to figure that out. But also we have got to find a way to get more pressure consistently on the quarterback without having to blitz. That's the key with that too. But that's the key pieces there as far as I believe as far as defense goes is those rush outside rush guys, Pierce and Joseph.
You got some young guys that are
Yeah, and if they can get in that strength conditioning program here, starting out, I guess right now, or as soon as those guys get back from Christmas break and they start the spring semester, that's going to be huge for those freshmen this year to get in there. And then is there any of these secondary guys that Tennessee just signed that are already down there that was there during the bowl practice? Is there any of those guys? The Matthew kid from Louisiana, and then you got the kid from Kentucky. His name's slipped my mind. I'm sure that somebody knows.
Who are you talking about? The running back or defensive back? Christian Conyer.
Conyer, yeah, Conyer. Thank you, Boogie. But with that, again, to me, it all comes down to Milton. Obviously, here's my concern with it because I know how we are. I know how we are as a fan base. We're going to expect Joe Milton to be just like Hendon Hooker, and it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. He doesn't have the same skill sets that Hendon Hooker has.
But what happens? What's your prediction if we get Orange Bowl Joe Milton?
I'm thinking 9-3. That's where I'm at. You know,
Would everybody on this panel not be happy with that? 9-3.
I would take a 9-3.
I'd take it. I'd take
Absolutely.
it.
I think
Depends on who the three losses are.
Yeah,
don't do that to me, Big Ball Daddy.
You know, obviously you would think Georgia and Bama beat two of them, and then we're going to slip up and lose to Texas A&M or
can't lose to Florida.
A&M. Yeah.
Wait, it won't be Kentucky because we're Kentucky's daddy.
We got a T-shirt that tells you that if you forget it, but we'll save those plugs for another day. JP, you were talking about the freshman. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I saw this evening when I got home from work that Bobby Petrino's coming back. Texas A&M hired him, and he's going to take over the play calling duty. So, obviously they've got to figure out something at quarterback, but there's no denying that they got talent with that. So
horrible coaching.
That's going to be interesting to see how that plays out there. But
are they grasping at straws there?
I think
they have the most hated coaching staff of all time. Sorry, JP, I keep cutting you off.
No, it's okay. But I think 9-3 is what I would expect to be. Somebody saying, is that taking a step back? But I think that you got to look at it. Did anybody expect 11-2 this year? This team overachieved. It did, and
they overachieved in year one too.
Yeah, and again, if Joe Milton can take that step and he can continue to grow and develop, then the possibility is there. But I think that he's going to have to prove it more than just this Orange Bowl.
I just think the biggest takeaway is that us as Tennessee fans, because I know, Big Vol Daddy and you, Boogie, was talking about it earlier, in the stream about the transfer portal and NIL deal going on. We all have to be honest as a Tennessee fan base. This is probably the best thing that's ever happened for Tennessee. For us to legally pay players to come play for us and to even go into the portal to grab 4 or 5 stars to come play for us to compete for another national championship or SEC championship. So, I kind of look at that as part of really a blessing in disguise, especially for the Tennessee fan base, because if it wasn't for the portal or NIL deal going on, we still be struggling for the next, probably 4 or 5 years, maybe.
The timing was perfect for Tennessee football. The timing was perfect for all of this.
Yeah. There is no doubt that Tennessee has greatly benefited from the transfer portal, and certainly the NIL deal, obviously with the Nico deal, and I know Boogie was talking to him, I think A to Z earlier about all that and all of everything, but seriously, do we feel like that Josh Heupel could have pulled Nico without the possibility of the name, image, and likeness? I don't know.
50-50. It's 50-50.
Maybe he could have, possibly, but I think obviously that having the NIL helped for sure with that. So,
because for me, overall, going into next season, is that look, we've been preaching it all this past off season before, is that we need a defense. We need a defense. We need a defense. Look, going into next year, God's answered that prayer. We have a defense, even though they're true freshmen coming in. That's why I feel like the next season is going to be maybe not much of a step back, but just a little bit, because you want these guys to get in the weight room, get coached up real good. But I think the offense is not going to lose a beat. I really don't think so. And then Joe Milton, because like I said, like me and Boogie, we're the biggest Joe Milton fans on the planet Earth right now. But yeah, I'm rooting for Joe, man. I really am. That's why I want him to carry this season out, as it should. And then, class of 24, that's Nico's time. He comes in, and whether he leads us to a SEC championship or national championship, I don't know. It's just wait to be written. So, but I'm excited for next season, honestly, especially with the defensive side of the ball. I really want to see what we're looking like on the defensive side of the ball.
JP was talking about the freshmen coming in, Shandavion Bradley, Caleb Herring. Did you listen to the VolQuest podcast? I think it was yesterday, and they were talking about Caleb Herring and how when Elijah went to Tennessee, Caleb was kind of lost. That was his mentor, and Caleb needs to put on weight in a hurry. So does Joshua Josephs. So does Shandavion Bradley. They got some legitimate athletic edge rushers. They got to put on weight. But they were saying how they really truly believe that once Caleb gets on campus and he's back around Elijah, he's going to put that work in. He's going to be dialed in. He's going to be focused. And who was it they mentioned? BY. I think it was BY. They mentioned how much weight he put on once he got to Tennessee, and they were saying that they think Caleb Herring will kind of do the same. We got some edge rushers, boys. Come on, boys. We got some edge rushers. We got some guys that are going to get after the quarterback. They're going to bring that pressure. What was the biggest impact, Big Vol Daddy, in Tennessee versus Clemson? Let's not lie. It was about quarterback pressure and making Cade Klubnik look like he was throwing off his back foot. He legitimately looked like a true freshman, Big Vol Daddy.
Yes,
he was pressured all day long.
He looked like a true freshman. And real quick, I've been wanting to ask this question, but I didn't want to interrupt anybody. First of all, happy birthday, X Factor.
Thank you. And I'm
Second
sorry
of
that it's
all,
red.
What the hell's up with all that Georgia red and black? I gotta know what's up.
It's his birthday suit.
I was getting ready to tell you. I said, red is my favorite color, but I promise you, I'm
Lord
not
have
a
mercy.
Georgia fan.
He said that on your channel, Boogie. He said that on your channel.
Yeah.
You want me to change the background just for you, X Factor? Look at me, rock. I got a red shirt on. I can go a red background.
Gotta at least lie and say orange is your favorite color when you're in here, man. Come on.
Oh,
Boogie's the only one allowed to not wear Tennessee stuff.
Yeah, they yell. Though I'm not allowed, Big Vol Daddy. They yell at me on the regular.
That's okay. You do it anyway, right?
I said, hey, look, is that better? Is that better here? Soul Smoky's right here. See, look.
There you
right
go.
Here. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this awesome.
At least we know he's got some orange in that room.
Not good enough.
Very nice.
Oh, yeah.
Very nice.
Thank you.
But yeah, to get to your question, Boogie, that was my going into the Clemson game. That was the thing I said had to happen that night, was we had to get pressure on the freshman so we can make him look like a true freshman. Because I didn't care what any of the Clemson fans say, any of the Georgia haters that said we were going to get skull drug, curb stomp, whatever cliche they used the months leading up to that game. The kid had never started a game. He'd certainly never started a game as big as the Orange Bowl. And regardless of how he looked in mop-up duty or ukulele duty or whatever, they had no idea what he was going to do in a full game against a team that was going to come to that head. What do we have, 26 pressures?
It was ridiculous. Yeah.
26 pressures. I've seen Tennessee games where we didn't get – I've seen Tennessee teams where we didn't get 26 pressures in a season. I mean, it was ridiculous how much we were chasing that kid around. And they made him look like a true freshman. You could see Dabo over there on the sidelines almost every time they came off the field, hugging on him and coaching him up and telling him he's going to be flipping burgers next year and whatever he was telling him in his ear. So we did exactly what I thought we needed to do.
He's going to be the starter for the next 3 or 4 years because they're not going to be able to get anybody else after that whipping, right?
Be hard to, right? I mean, you would think it would be hard to get someone with him there. I mean, was he not the number one dual threat quarterback when he went to Clemson? He was at least, I know, in the top 2 or 3.
1 or 2 maybe.
I mean, he looked good. Yeah. He looked good when they kind of changed the game plan, started running the football, running that read option a little bit.
Yeah, he got
Clemson kind of picked it up in the third quarter, but
we did have one of those.
You would have thought though that they would have showed his mom and dad a couple of more times.
Just a few more. Yeah,
that was disappointing, wasn't it?
It's not burned into my brain or anything.
we had
and his girlfriend. They showed his girlfriend a couple of hundred times too.
Well,
we had
just
one of
like
those number one.
Don't take your shots, Dobber. Go ahead and take your shot, and then I'm gonna take a shot at you.
I was gonna say we had one of those number 1 ranked dual threat quarterbacks as well, but he was not coached up.
There you go. Can we give JG a little bit of praise? What would JG?
Poor guy.
What would JG have been in this offense, man? I saw somebody on Twitter talking about it today, and basically saying this kid went through 4 offensive coordinators.
Yes.
He never had a prayer. How good? JP. I got talking with my hands. I'm gonna throw this to JP. JP, how good would JG have been under Josh Heupel? How good would he have been?
I mean, that's hard to say because he spent 4 years down there at Tennessee, and yes,
he's in the NFL.
I know he went through multiple coaches and all that, but he still struggled reading a defense. So I mean,
why?
He wasn't coached up.
What do you think, JP? JG or Tyler Bray? Which one?
Give me Tyler Bray all day, every day. What kind of question is that?
Yeah,
That's
taking
what I'm
Bray
saying.
any day.
That
wait a
minute.
JG,
Really
I bet you. Sorry,
Tyler,
Big Ball Daddy. Go ahead, buddy.
That's all right. Just saying, does anybody really want Tyler Bray running the ball in the Heupel offense? They would have protected that.
I don't think he needs to, man. But what about Josh Dobbs? Let's rewind 20 years of history. Give me all the quarterbacks.
We
Look
had
at
Josh
Butch
Dobbs.
Jones. Look at the offense that Butch Jones had, and let Josh Heupel run it. Are you kidding me? Alvin Kamara and Jalen Hurd in the same offense?
Wow.
Come
Give
on.
me Heath Schuler. Give me Heath
Oh,
Schuler.
yeah.
That's record breaking.
I'd love to see Hugh Schuler in this offense for sure. But no,
How about
I was going to say, I would
No.
say that
No.
that JG's name has been mentioned more on this channel than any other.
His
Tennessee
aunt
player.
watched the show.
Yes,
Thanked me
I know.
personally. Thanked me personally for not insulting him.
Yeah. I mean, that was some bad times. Bad times.
But we can all say that. Look, that kid played his heart out. He
did. There's no doubt about it. I mean,
heart out.
yeah. I mean, everybody was mad at him, but he couldn't help it that Pruitt kept putting him back in. I mean, he couldn't help it.
What would you do? Let me jam through some donations real quick. Let me see where we're at. We're up to 20. We're still at $2,500. We got an anonymous for 20. We got number one Negaval for $20. Appreciate that. Zach Cherry donated 20. Michelle Emmons donated $50. That is not cheap. And then Big Orange Mountain follows it up with a hundo. And you guys know what we got to do. If you drop a 50 or a hundo, I mean, we gotta play the clip. We're gonna stay live all night. We're gonna hit $7,500. I'm gonna have a heart attack right here on air. Let's play the clip.
Money isn't everything. It's the only thing. And everyone has a price for the $1 Million Man.
Appreciate those very generous donations. David Speaks donates $5. We appreciate that. Are we caught up? Look, if I was playing NCAA, I would say this. I would say it's the third quarter. We got a couple of minutes left. If you guys donate $150, I will play another game. I'm going to do that to you now. You want us to keep going? Donate $150. You guys, I'm not going to say numbers, gave me so much money on Sunday night to play video games. Let's give it to the boys and girls that have their boots in the sand. They have their boots in the sand, away from family. They come back. They're never the same again. And maybe they have to go in for treatment. Maybe they have to go in for surgery. And Fisher House gives them this housing unit. And the beauty of it is, man, something that I didn't know until today, the community, because there are so many different suites. And talking to Tim Bradley and even watching the videos, like there are different spouses and family members going through all this together. And you're in this community where you kind of come together at the end of the day, and you got somebody to talk to, man. And that's valuable. And, Tim said it earlier. Anybody that's ever had a loved one going through cancer or going through whatever, and you're at the hospital, you're at Vanderbilt. I was there with my mom, and it was just me and my brother. And we went back to the hotel, and it's just kind of like we're looking at each other like this is happening. Like our mom's dying, and we got nobody but each other. Like just us. That's all we have because we traveled down because it's the last hours, and we rushed down, and it's chaos. And there's something to be said about the community that the Fisher House Foundation provides. That's what I love about what they do. And we will stay live all night long if we have to. Guys, continue to donate. Continue to share this stream out. I'm going to extend this charity stream for at least another 24 hours till tomorrow night at midnight. Anybody watching the replay, if you're watching the replay, hit that donate button. Continue to give, guys. I cannot beg you enough. I say it all the time, man. I say it all the time. You guys show out, show up, show love to us. We're regular dudes. The ones with their boots in the sand, they give us the opportunity to do what we're doing. Like if you work a 9 to 5, you couldn't do it without them. I'm beyond blessed to say that my career is talking Tennessee football. You are you kidding me? Like, I'm so fortunate. I could not do this without them. I've told the story of my little brother. I've told the story of my older brother. I've told the story of Tim Bradley. So many people in this community that are a part of the military. This fan base, this community, this 20,000 subscribers that we have are so strong in the military community. So we thank you for that, but continue to give, continue to support. And again, we're going to keep it open for another 24 hours. Keep giving, keep sharing, keep blowing this thing up.
How about the fact that what I was sitting watching earlier and trying to plug it out on Facebook and on Twitter. How about the fact that we've had members of this community whose family have stayed at a Fisher House? It's multiple people.
I think Big Orange Pumpkin was talking about it.
Yeah. A couple people have posted. And it is, like Tim said, it is one of the ones that it's not quite as well known as Wounded Warrior or some of these other foundations and charities. But man, after reading up on it and doing some research and seeing the impact, even within our little tiny bubble of Talkin VAWLS, the work that they can do, and it is amazing stuff. And I think Ben McKee was talking. Everything in this country that we do for our military support wise, man, it can. You said it earlier. We can pull in and get all these super chats and money after a win. Just coming on here, just regular guys talking about a football game, but we're talking about situations, life and death situations of these men and women who risk their lives for our country, for our freedoms, so we can do stuff like we're doing right here, getting on the internet and talking about Tennessee football. This is something that we can do because, like you said, Boogie, I've not served, but I am, very appreciative and very grateful for all those that have, and to be able to play a little part in being able to help a foundation that does serve and provide for those that are in need, that have. It's such a great thing to do. And I appreciate you for spearheading this and letting me be on here tonight.
I think Snake hit the nail on the head earlier when he said everybody. Like, it's almost like cancer, right? Everybody, you can't talk to somebody that's not been impacted by cancer. You can't talk to somebody that's not been impacted by somebody that has served overseas. Like, we all, right now, all 6 of us are thinking about probably somebody specifically, maybe more than one person, that served and been impacted. They don't come back the same, man. They don't come back the same. And Ben talking about his dad, maybe he did, but Big Vol Daddy, I'm sure you're thinking about it too. What do you think about Fisher House and what they do?
It's amazing. I wish, I don't know how long they've been around. Like I said, one of my brothers was in Desert Storm, and when he came back, I don't know how to say it. He was different. He was a totally different person. And he could have benefited from a place like Fisher House there for a while. He's gone. He passed away a couple of years ago. But I can't believe that I'm just learning about this place tonight. And like I said, my father, he was Army guy. My stepdad, he's still alive, but he's suffering from dementia right now. He was an Army guy. So yeah, you're right. I guarantee everybody in this room and probably everybody in the chat section is thinking of somebody that they know that served or has needed a place like this, and it's invaluable. You know, $7,500 if you're fortunate enough to get to that is great, and it's a great thing to do, but it's not enough. You know, I don't think there is a total enough for a place like that and what all they do. Good question, Boogie. That's a good question.
Fisher House in the chat says founded in 1990 when Zach Fisher saw a soldier sleeping in his car. The first house opened in the Maryland area. They're all over the country. They've got one in Tennessee, I know for a fact. But this is something. It's not just going to be 2023. You know, when I tweeted it out, they reached out to me immediately. We kind of went back and forth through email. And I told him, I said, I want to do this annually. I want it to be an annual thing, whether it means, you know, we do it after the national championship. If Tennessee's not in the national championship, maybe we do it between the first round of college football playoff games and the national championship. We're going to be doing a live watch party for the national championship. So we're going to continue to work with Fisher House Foundation. I think they're a great charity. And again, shout out to Tim Bradley for putting them on our radar. So I'm excited to continue to work with them, continue to raise money for them. I do think we're going to wrap up the stream. Let's see. Coach Jay dropped another $10. Thank you for that, Coach Jay. We appreciate it. Rocky Top Tom donated $5. Appreciate that donation. We're going to keep it open. I'm going to open it up for another 24 hours till tomorrow at midnight. So if you're catching this on the replay, which a lot of people do, ton of people catch this on the replay, still drop those donations. The donation button is going to be open. So continue to do that. We would appreciate it. Thank you guys for a fun night. I said it at the top of the show, man. Only on the Talkin VAWLS network can you get VolQuest, Go Vols 247, A to Z Sports, Big Vol Daddy, the Talkin VAWLS network. They're not doing this anywhere else. You think VolQuest is going to let Go Vols 247 on? Do you think, for that matter, do you think VolQuest is going to let Boogie Bentley on? They don't want to highlight me. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? They're copying my cover photos, Eric. I see you. If you're watching right now, Eric, I'm not stupid. Transfer portal update? Are you kidding me? Where'd you get that, bro? I've been dropping those videos for 2 years. For 2 years. Y'all copying Boogie.
Got him sweating, Boogie.
I ain't stupid. Hey,
caught him in 4K.
Imitation is the biggest form of flattery. All I can say is bring it, boys. Bring it, boys. Because guess what? We ain't going nowhere. This is for the fans, by the fans. We are the heartbeat of Vol Nation. You can't beat us. You can only hope to imitate us, but you're never going to be us because you're always talking at them. We're talking with them. So bring it. Bring it, boys. Keep making those transfer portal videos because I ain't scared. I am not scared. The Talkin VAWLS network, onward and upward. This thing's going to blow up. I'm telling you, boys. Come on, boys. We're going to have some fun. We're going to have some fun. I'm so excited. I'm so excited that this is my focus. Onward and upward. More content. More collaborations. More live streams. More videos. The future is bright, boys and girls. Dauber, you're my wingman. We're going to keep doing the dang thing. X Factor. Guys, the Christmas party's coming. I can't wait. We're going to post a picture and everybody's going to be jealous. X Factor, you're my brother from another mother. Thank you. It's happy birthday, bro. Happy birthday. I love your story. X Factor, you're the story, bro. From listener to fan call-in to wingman.
And thank you. And I just want to say real quick, since Big Vol Daddy's been questioning my loyalty to Tennessee, this is also my birthday gift to myself.
To your damn self. I love it. Give a birthday gift to your damn self.
Not your loyalty, X Factor. Not questioning your loyalty, just your wardrobe decision. That's all.
Oh, I know. I'm just teasing, but nah, that's my birthday gift.
Any
to
of you
myself.
young
Real
guys,
quick,
man, stick by the balls. Good on you.
Oh, trust me, I'm not a bandwagoner. Trust me, I've been bleeding orange for a while. Like I said, the BYU and the Georgia State loss. Trust me, I've been there for them all. I've been there for them all. But real quick, guys, yeah, so yeah, guys, donate donate to the Fisher House Foundation, man, because real quick, I come from a military family, you know, like my dad served in the Army, my uncle is in the Air Force, my papa's in the Air Force, stepdad in the Army. So, and a long line of my other family members serving in the military, but Fisher House, appreciate what you do for these veterans, and then also too, because also Kelly, that's in the chat right now, he actually works at the same place as I do, where we serve veterans as well. I basically work at a VA hospital, if everybody wants to know. But I serve veterans there as well, just taking care of them and everything. But yeah, guys, just go ahead and donate, man, because we got to give thanks to our troops. Because if it wasn't for our troops, then we wouldn't be doing what we're doing today, living everyday life in this nation. You know, they fight for our freedom, and freedom is not free. So, but yeah, just go ahead and donate, keep donating. And like Boogie said, we're going to keep growing this Talkin VAWLS channel. And like I said, watch parties are coming, and we're going to have a good time. We're going to have a real good time with this.
I got to update that because I said we were going to do the Kentucky game. I got Upward basketball. That's a noon Saturday game. So we're going to shift that. We're still going to do the national championship game on Monday. I got to get with X Factor and find a basketball game that we can watch. I ain't going to be home. I'm going to be corralling cats for Upward basketball. Snake, we started this thing together, brother. We started this thing together. How proud are you of where we've come, my man?
Yeah, it's amazing. That's really just testament to you, man, and your vision. But congratulations on this. I can't say enough about where it is and what's happening with the channel. And heck, it's been a long ride, hasn't it?
Like what, 8 years, I think? Yeah. 8 years almost?
Yeah, it's been fun. It's been fun.
Has it been that long? God,
yeah. Since me and Snake started. Yeah. Probably 8 years, probably. Snake, go ahead and plug COG Sports Cards. Put it out there what you guys do. Go sub up COG Sports Cards. Give them a little plug.
Yeah, sure. My uncle and I, we have a little channel for called COG Sports Cards, where we just we open some cards up, put out videos during the week. We have live streams every Sunday evening at 9 p.m. Come check it out. We are just kind of like this channel. We're just some regular guys opening and enjoying the hobby of sports cards in the spare time between UT football and UT sports. So come check it out if you're interested.
Big Vol Daddy, you got a big interview coming up soon, buddy. Give it a little plug. Tell them who you are. Tell you where you're at. Let them know.
Friday night. This Friday night at 7:00. If you watch my video today, then you know who it is. But it's a former '80s volunteer, Tennessee volunteer. Most of you know him. I know Ben McKee knows him, and Eric Cain knows him because they probably worked with him at some point. Chris Treese, good guy, does a lot of good things for kids. And knows a lot of volunteer history, so it should be a lot of fun Friday night. And next Wednesday night, a current Tennessee player, not a starter, not a big name, but still someone that can maybe give us some insight to what goes on behind the scenes that we don't hear about as just regular fans like we all are. So I'm blessed to have those two guys coming on, and I'm working on some other guys from several different places around the country. So come check me out if you get a chance. I sure would appreciate it. You talked about 8 years. I've been grinding, doing this for 14 years. The last 2 years, my health got me, and just about not only took me out of the YouTube game, but out of the life game. So I feel blessed every day I wake up now, and I've got a new attitude towards YouTube, a new attitude towards life. And I'm busting my ass, excuse my language, Boogie, but I'm busting my ass every day to learn how to walk again. So appreciate all you guys that have come supported me, and appreciate any of you that come support me in the future. And it's great talking to all you guys. I had a good time tonight.
We're gonna continue to collaborate with Big Vol Daddy too. I know I mentioned A to Z Sports and Ben McKee, Eric Cain. Now that this is the full-time gig, I've got to figure out a way to provide more content to you guys when next football season rolls around. We're going to get Big Vol Daddy on here. We're going to get all those guys on here. Going to be a good time. Shout out to Scott Bennett for donating $20. Robert Tuck just donated $10 to the Fisher House. Appreciate that, my man. JP, you're the last one standing, brother. You're the one. You're the OG. You're the guy that said, hey, let's do a Tennessee football podcast. You're
the godfather of talking.
You're the
balls.
Hey,
I don't know about
you can
that.
say Boogie put in the grind, Boogie put in the work. This was your vision. This was your idea. Where we've come, my man. Where
I know.
we've come.
I know. I can still remember the day sitting in my truck at work on lunch, texting you, be like, "Man, why don't we start a football podcast about Tennessee?" Because I knew that you was doing the other stuff, and look at it now. Yeah, I mean, you've stuck with it, grinded. So it's amazing what you've done with it, Boo. I'm super proud of you, and wish you great success with it going forward for sure. And these, like I said, there's one thing about it. Tennessee fans are loyal. That can be good and it can be bad because it brings out a lot of passion, and when it's not going well, it can get really, really bad. But just like this year, just amazing support that this fan base shown, and with all that, and certainly Boogie having Fisher House and this charity stream on tonight, that's just amazing. Certainly appreciate that, and appreciate everything that the Fisher House does for all those vets, and certainly if anybody is able and capable to donating anything at all, it'd be great for sure. So appreciate it. I've enjoyed it. Appreciate being on here tonight and talking to everybody, and talking a little bit of football, and talking about raising some money for a great charity. So it's been great. I appreciate it.
I love it, man. It's been a fun show. We're almost 3 hours in. We've raised almost $3,000, which is absolutely amazing. I knew I set the goal way too high, but I said, hey, screw it. I knew what we made on the Alabama stream, and I said, we're going to beat it. And you guys, the challenge is out. We're going to keep the stream up for a couple of days. Continue to donate. We appreciate you guys. I love this community, man, and it's so fun talking about the story of Talkin VAWLS and where we started with Snake. And, hey, let's play some stupid video games, to talking about wrestling and talking about comic books and all this stuff. I failed so many times on YouTube to get to where we're at, and it's so many people are involved, right? JP coming on and say, hey, let's do a Tennessee podcast. And then it was just the three of us, me, Snake, and JP talking. And the days of talking on Skype, nobody watching, nobody live. And then, Indie Kid coming on board, Dabra coming on board. And then JP texting me and saying, we got to figure out this live thing. And I'm like, dude, I've been thinking about that for a long time. We figured it out. And then just the process of growing this thing, 20,000 strong. We love you guys. We thank you guys. Support this charity.
We thought it was something if there's 50 people watching.
Now I got
something real quick, Boogie.
Yeah, I got 70 people watching me play video games, JP.
That's amazing.
Go ahead, Big Ball Daddy. Say something, we'll get out the door.
I think we might all be remiss, and maybe you mentioned it earlier, and I just didn't hear it when I went to the bathroom, but I think we would all be remiss if we didn't all throw up some prayers and thoughts to the Hamlin family.
100%. 100%.
We, 100%. At the end of the day, what we love and all love to watch is entertainment, and to know that a young man, I don't know if there's been any updates or whatever, but if you guys were watching that game like I was Monday night, it was just, I mean, it didn't matter who you were to see that happen. It was just, it was an emotional moment, and instantaneously forgot all about football. So you never know.
That's what this is. It's bigger than football. And that's why, we ask you guys to donate to the charity. But we're going to wrap this thing up. Just a quick rundown. Thank you to everybody that jumped on the show. Tim Bradley right out of the gate. Eric Cain from VolQuest.com and Locked On Vols. Ben McKee from GoVols247. The guys at A to Z Sports. Big Vol Daddy. Everybody that came on, man. This isn't happening anywhere else. It's only happening right here on the Talkin VAWLS network. VolQuest isn't going to do this. They're not going to promote other platforms. GoVols247's not going to promote other platforms. A to Z Sport. Nobody's promoting other people. We are putting ourselves here to promote the charity. That's what it's all about. So we thank you guys. We love you guys. Continue to share the news about this charity, and we'll leave it open for another 24, 48 hours. Go support, hit that donate button. But that's going to do it for this one. For Dauber, for the X Factor, for Vols JP, for Snake, for Big Vol Daddy, my name is Boogie Bentley. We're going to send you out of here with a little bit of music, and I'll just say, go Big Orange.
Carry on my wayward son. There'll be peace when you are done. Lay your weary head to rest. Don't you cry no more. Once I rose above the noise and confusion, just to get a glimpse beyond this illusion. I was soaring ever higher, but I flew too high. Though my eyes could see, I still was a blind man. Though my mind could think, I still was a madman. I hear the voices when I'm dreaming. I can hear them say, carry on my wayward son. There'll be peace when you are done. Lay your weary head to rest. Don't you cry no more. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, I used to be crazy. Yeah, they called me a fool. Yes, I wasn't myself. Back when I wanted you. See you come around again. Same look in your eye. I'd have to be crazy. Fall again for your lies. 'Cause I might break these chains around my broken heart. You could have had it once, but you tore it all apart. I'm gonna throw your crying eyes over my left shoulder. I'm not gonna let you wear your crown this time I can't stay a little longer. Gotta be on my way.
We've got to raise the bar, and we've got to continue to raise the bar. I don't think any of those young men, when they signed to come to Tennessee, they signed to say they wanted to come and be a part of a 7-6 program. All right, they said they wanted to come and compete for championships, SEC championships, national championships. I know that's what I want. I know that's what Tennessee wants. I know that's what the expectation is. So we've got to continue to reassess everything that we're doing and make sure that we're continuing to move the needle in the right direction.
I believe we have a Heisman quarterback, and when you have a Heisman quarterback, you got to have the receivers to make plays. And individually wise, I want to make plays for him because, what he has done and just him being a leader here, I have so much respect for him. Me and Hook, we go back a long time. Even when he was at Virginia Tech, I committed there before I came here, so that's how I met him at first. And it's a brotherhood, and I love him, and I try to go out there, and it doesn't matter what ball he throws me, man. I'm trying to make the play for him, just because what he has done for me. I just want to give back to him.
I don't believe there are good people that pull for Georgia. I think they're all terrible, ugly, disgusting human beings. I think it's just that no, there are no good Georgia fans, Eric. There are none.
Just look around. You got the mountains. You got the most beautiful city in the whole entire country. The university is absolutely, looks like it's out of a storybook. It's just beautiful. People are incredibly genuine and extremely nice. It's just a place that obviously I'd want my kids to go to school. And it sells itself. You don't have to sell anything about this place. You just got to get them here. The old field of dreams. Yeah. Build it and they will come. It's already built.
Heart is a balloon, shoots up through the stony ground. There's no room, no space to rent in this town. You're out of luck, and the reason that you had to care, the traffic is stuck, and you're not moving anywhere. You thought you found a friend to take you out of this place, someone you can lend a hand in return for grace. It's a beautiful day. Sky falls, you feel like it's a beautiful day. Don't let it get away. You're on the road, but you got no destination. You're in the mud, in a maze of her imagination. Your love is down, even if that doesn't ring true. You've been all over, and it's been all over you. It's a beautiful day.
Oh, hello. Hello. Did you think it was over? You thought it was over. You guys thought it was over. The show's not over. Anybody that's been watching Sunday nights, a little NCAA football, every single Sunday night, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time, we do a little thing called post-credit scenes. That's where, look, the show's not over. The show's not over. Everybody's still here. Nobody knows what's going on. There's only 60 people watching live. This is the post-credit scene. Nobody has a freaking clue. Nobody has a clue what's going on. This is the post-credit scene. Only 60 people watching live. Nobody's ever been a part of this except for me. I do it every now and then on Sunday nights. I play some clips. I play some credits. I play some songs. And then I come back for a little bonus stream for the people that are the diehards, the people that love the channel, the people that are scared to leave. Man. How special is this channel, Dauber? How special is this community? Like, we'll go a couple of minutes here. Like, we're going to get heartfelt. Like, seriously, man. Like, does it get lost on you? Like, you come on this show, and we do a post-game show, and there's 1,500 people watching. You're like, I'm a superstar. I'm the man. Everybody's here to watch me. How crazy is what we built, man? How crazy is it?
It is mind-blowing sometimes to have that sink in, that we have, like JP said earlier tonight, we were thrilled when we had 50, 100 people watching, and you go back to like the post game of the Alabama game, or I mean, even having a couple hundred people watching you is just it's very humbling, and to be recognized in public, which I've had, I think, 3 occasions where we've had people come up in Knoxville twice. Had somebody come up.
Cool.
Are you one of the guys on that podcast? And it's just like, yeah, because I realize it's a bigger thing than is actually in my head. To be part of it is really cool.
Yeah, like Dauber said, especially at the meet and greet, I'm just happy and blessed to be on this channel with you guys, and I can't, express it as much as I can, is that, like I said, I was just an average listener, just like, these guys in the chat, just looking for Tennessee football content. And then I just stumbled onto your guys' content, and I was like, I was like, I actually like these guys. It's like they're actually trying to build something here. And then it's even more special to know that you guys are very local. That's why I was like, okay, so now this is really official. But yeah, like you said, Dara, even for me at the meet and greet, just, was we had, I forgot his name, but he came up and he was just like, hey, you want to autograph my
I think it was Brian. And
it was Brian?
Yeah. Did we all sign Brian? I think all 3 of us signed Brian's hat. And Snake, did you sign it too?
Yeah.
So, JP, where were you, brother? Where were you?
Where was JP?
I'm somewhere.
a more important venture. We get
I
it.
forget.
Counting money at the bank.
And then this is crazy even too, because even like it was actually the week after Christmas, a week before Christmas. But anyway, I was at the mall and I was walking in, finishing up Christmas presents and stuff. And I just walked into Fanatics, and I was talking to the store manager because I know who he is and stuff. And his coworker, was at the cash register. I'm just talking, and then all of a sudden you just hear him go, "Do you know who this guy is? Do you know who he is?" And then he started laughing. The store owner, he was like, "Nah." It's like, what are you talking about? And he's like, "Dude, he's on Talkin VAWLS. He's YouTube famous. He's YouTube famous." And I just started laughing, and I was just like, I said, "Not really. I'm just a guy just hops on with Boogie and his friends and talk about Tennessee football." And then I told him, I was like, and then the store manager was like, "Well, yeah, you should get a selfie with him. This and that." And I mean, yeah, I did. I got a selfie with the dude, and his name is Luke, by the way. If you're watching this, Luke,
shout out to Luke.
Shout out to Luke. Like I said, I got you, brother. But yeah, it was awesome meeting you. But yeah, just being on here with you guys, man, especially last year going into this year, it's been awesome, man. I mean, it's really humbling and blessed experience.
It's funny. There's
this channel.
Go ahead,
what's
Snake.
What's awesome about this channel is that all of these 20,000 subscribers or whatever, all these 1,000 people that come and hang out with us in these live streams, they're just like us.
Exactly like us.
They're just like us, and that's the best part of it. That's the best part of it. That's why we do it, right?
That's
That's
so
why you do
funny.
it.
Yeah.
It's so funny because they're like, "Oh, y'all are something special." I'm like, "You
No.
do realize, like, Xavier is the exception to the rule. Gabe's the exception to the rule. Like everybody else that's been on this channel, I know in real life. So like when they tell me when JP was like, "Dude, I got to step back," and to me, I know why. JP's like, "Dude, you are hustling. You're working every day on this channel. I can't do that." So when we got to the point, I was like, "JP, just come back. I don't care if you show up once a week, once a month, once a quarter. I do not care." Like JP wanted this to be a hobby, and we got to the point where I was like, "Dude, it can be a hobby. It's me and Dauber. Me and Dauber are the ones that are committed." So Snake, you want to do post games? JP, you want to do midweek show? Like when JP quit and everybody, people are on Twitter saying Boogie hates JP, and I'm like, you like y'all don't even know us, like they still think that I hate the indie kid. And I'm like, I talked to him this week, like he texted me this week, like it's real life. But the beauty of it is too, because Snake, like you said, we are just like everybody else. So when Xavier gets the opportunity to come on here, Coach Jay's the same. Coach Jay's still like, Are we ever going to hit 5,000? I'm waiting to come on. I'm waiting. I'm ready, Boogie. Hit me up, bro. We're me and Coach Jay are going to do some video content. We're going to record on Friday. We got more content coming your way, so stay tuned for that. But the beauty of it is regular people like Xavier and Gabe. They're just like us, man. So that's the beauty of the channel, JP. It like, what can you say about it other than real life friends? Like, we used to go to the gym together, and I'm like, JP, get off your phone, stop scrolling VolQuest, get this lift in, bro. Let's go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's me and Snake, season ticket holders. Me and you, season ticket holders. Me and Dauber saw the streak into Florida. Me and the Indy Kid have gone to so many games together. Like, there's so many memories with all of us, man. JP, like, real life. That's real life.
I about got you in a couple of fights too down there.
You have, because you're freaking. I'm not going to say that on air.
I wouldn't do that, Boogie.
Both of you idiots. Why is Dauber the only one that I've ever gone to a game with that didn't try to get me in a fist fight?
Well, hopefully going into next
We watched
season,
some bad football, Boogie.
We did. But both of you
those
idiots on the
years-
bottom, we've been through some bad football
Those
together.
years that we were going
We
to
had
those games
Sat in
were
the stands
bad.
for hours after a game.
Oh gosh.
Heads
Hey,
hung
I would
low.
love to
Bad.
experience that with you guys. I'd love to experience it with it. But hopefully next season, though, like we can attend to the orange and white game. I would really want to do that.
Only if they have the Banditos.
Don't talk about that on air.
Yeah. But no, it is. I mean, it's just just a bunch of diehard Tennessee fans. I mean, it's all it is. I mean, the good and the bad. That's the thing with it. It's the good and the bad. So, because I mean, that's the thing. If you commit to this, you got to commit to the post-game shows when they lose, when they win.
George,
I mean,
say,
it's just
JP,
it's
you
just
want-
all of it. Yeah.
Hold on. We only got 60 people watching. Everybody's gone because they didn't know the show was over. Let's get some inside baseball. Let's talk about Georgia State, right? Snake couldn't be on. It was me and you.
I was at the game.
We're watching the Georgia State game. Was that what it was? Was it me, you, and Doc? I can't remember.
I was at the game. And
Were you part of the show at that time?
I tried to get on coming back and couldn't. The Wi-Fi was crap.
So it was me, JP, Dauber at the time. I can't remember because there's so many different levels of Talking Balls. It was me and JP, and we had to go live. And I said, here's the link. And JP, you said, I'm not coming on.
I'm so mad.
So what happened? What happened from there, Jay? Because I started texting Snake, who hadn't been a part of the show for years, and I was like, "Dude, can you get on? I don't know what's gonna happen." And Snake's like, "What the hell are you talking about? I can't get on." JP, what was going through your head that night when I was like, "No, you have to."
I mean, just the fact of having to sit there and watch the game and then have to try to sit here and discuss it for another hour and a half. I was just like, no, I do not want to do this. It was a frustrating game for sure. Very, very frustrating.
For me, it was like I said, you lose to BYU for one. BYU, and I'm just like, all right, it is what it is. And then you come back, game two, you're like, all right, maybe that was a hiccup game, whatever. Let's focus on the next one, right? You lose to Georgia State, and it's by a good margin. You're just sitting there just like,
it wasn't even close.
Yeah, you're just sitting there like,
out coached bad.
yeah. I'm like, we're gonna have one of those seasons. I said, I don't know where we're gonna go, but it's gonna be a real
Blessing in disguise. Blessing.
Well, I said on that stream, I said Jeremy Pruitt will not survive. Yep. I said you do not lose a game like that and survive. You just won't do it. Not in the Southeastern Conference. You are not going to do it.
I pointed that out so many times.
I think it was
so
Jeremy
many times.
Pruitt is done at Tennessee.
Yeah.
No, it was a conversation of he will never succeed at Tennessee, and I was like, no, he's going to be fine. We need time. And I've gone back to that conversation so many times because it's pinpoint history for me. It's like JP did not want to go on, and I was like, all right, asshole, you're going on. Like you can't commit to the Talkin VAWLS Network and say, I'm not going on. They lost. It's like, that's what the first year of Talkin VAWLS was. It's like, we're not going to do it this week. Like, it was so pathetic. But that night, it was like, we have to go on. And so many people, man, when we look at the history of Talkin VAWLS, they're like,
they got hooked at that game. Yeah,
that was the night. That was the night. No, James says, wait a second. There's no way you guys are still live. I thought the stream was over. That's the beauty of the post-credit scenes. There's only 60 people watching, but I love doing this. I love doing it not every. I try to space it out. Sunday nights, I'm like, all right, here's a little something extra. Before I quit my job, after the Sunday night stream, I did a post-credit scene, and I told them everything. And there was like 20 people that saw it. They knew that I was quitting. They knew that I was going full-time Talkin VAWLS. Nobody else had a clue. I told everybody on the Sunday night stream. So it's always fun to give them a little something extra. But we are going to wrap it up, man. Like, we love you guys. We thank you guys. We appreciate the support. This channel, you've heard it. You've heard it, man. You've heard it over the last 3 hours. What it means to me, to Dauber, to Snake, to JP, to the X Factor. Like, it's something special, man. I'm proud of what we've built, and we're going to continue to build it. Look, they're coming. They coming. I said it earlier. They're copying us. They're gonna continue to come, and we're gonna beat them. Guess what? They're gonna do post game shows next year. Spoiler alert: they're gonna do it. They're gonna do post game shows because they see what we do and they want to copy it. But I hope that you guys ride or die with us. But if you don't, it's up to us. We got to provide the content that you guys want, and we're gonna continue to try to do that. Watch party coming up. National championship game. Spoiler alert, next Wednesday. Way too early predictions live stream Wednesday night, 7 p.m. Eastern time. I have no idea who's going to be on it, whether it's Snake, JP, Dauber, Xavier, Gabriel. I have no idea, but I'm going live. That's the truth. I'm going live next Wednesday, 7 p.m. Eastern time. Way too early predictions coming your way, so tune in for that. Sunday night, 6:30 p.m. Eastern time, Talkin VAWLS, NCAA 13, all the good fun. Let's wrap this thing up. Thank you guys for the support. How much money did we raise? Where are we at? Let me pull it up here. $2,700. Let's get that thing over 3. Let's get it over 3. I set the goal way too high, but I set goals high so I can meet them and then go to bed depressed and feel like a failure. But hey, $3,000, that's a big time. That's a lot. We're supporting a lot of families, the military. So thank you guys for that. For Dauber, for the X Factor, for Vols JP, for Snake. My name's Boogie Bentley. Go sub up COG Sports Cards. Thank you for the support. This is the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name is Boogie Bentley. Go Big Orange.
Cold, deep too, when the ice on melts. We're fish food, not to question your beliefs, baby, not to be rude, but you better wrap your head around the magnitude of living on a volcano. When's it gonna blow? Living volcano, you'll be the first to know. Well, we can't save the whales, we got some bigger fish to fry. Can't waste no money growing trees with this election to buy. Watch them vanish from the earth like it's part of God's plan. Climate change is just a hoax, and so is monkey to man. There's all kinds of theories, and you can't argue that. But just a couple 100 years ago, this world was still flat. So open up your minds and open up your eyes. You might be in for a big surprise. When you're living on a volcano, when's it gonna blow?